everyone, Old School Pokemon here, back again with the Pokeflipz podcast, joined by my usual co-host, KetchumAllCollectibles Dan. And today, unfortunately, we do not have any special guest. You're stuck with
Nick.
us.
Nick, what's up with that? We're supposed to have a special guest. You overslept your alarm. You made us push it 30 minutes later, and you don't even have our guest for us. What's going on there?
It's a bummer. It's a bummer. No. What?
As the thumbnail says, as the title says, it was just way too juicy, way too hot for YouTube. All the sauce was spilled, and we just need to keep it to ourselves, unfortunately. I don't know what more to say than that.
Yes, we learned all the conspiracies behind grading, and we want to keep it to ourselves now.
But yeah, honestly, if people are in the Pokenomics Discord, you will be aware that there was a recent happening in the sports card space where there was a sports card interviewer who had a podcast with a guy who, in this instance, he was full name, face, on camera, regular voice, all that stuff. We were intending to do a grader not tied to any company. We were not going to have their face. We were not going to have their normal voice in use. But even in that, it's just like, it's not worth it. In the other instance, the guy, let me, just so that I'm quoting the right sort. Do you remember, Nick, what the channel was?
I have no idea. You have it in Discord, though.
Yeah, I'm going to look at it
up real quick.
Rare interview with former PSA employee. It was by Professor Sports Cards. It wasn't even a PSA grader. It was a PSA research and ID worker. And he had some funny insights. And at the end of the day, though, there was no like tinfoil hat conspiracies confirmed. There was no like, this is the way that you get automatic 10s. It was just some like funny, silly things that he talked about, some kind of surprising things, but nothing that just breaks everything wide open. And in this instance, we interviewed a grader with one of the major companies, and similarly, there was nothing massive. There was nothing big. And follow-up, 3 days later, Professor Sports Card made a video that said, did he really work for PSA? Do they really sign NDAs? And the guy got an email from PSA with fairly strong wording like, hey, on this day you signed an NDA. We have that on file. You didn't say anything crazy. You maybe didn't know you were breaking the NDA, but you did something stupid. Don't do it again, or we may pursue with the full force of legal NDA, blah, blah, blah. So those exist with many, many companies, presumably every grading company. My former company that I worked for, I've talked vaguely about what I did, but I was never talking like very specifically about what I did. I signed with my job NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. I signed non-compete agreements. It's only been 4 years, but I'm not going to compete ever in the chemical engineering space with my former company. But I believe my hands were tied for like 5 years. I believe 5-year non-compete, I think, is what I had in the specific areas that I was. Not that I couldn't be a chemical engineer, but I couldn't deal with the specific chemicals, the specific segments of the industry that I was in formally. And presumably, maybe not the non-compete. I feel like a grader could go to a different company, probably, maybe. But because it's not like their grading scales are like secret or anything. It's not like their industry, whatever. Maybe technology-wise, you wouldn't want somebody going from tag to AGS or vice versa. I don't know. But ultimately, we were kind of teasing, we were kind of joking. There was no like major, this changes everything, and now we're going to get 10s on everything. There was no, and Nick, am I missing anything? You were there for the entire 2 hours we talked with them. There was no like major tinfoil hat conspiracy confirmed. Very interesting conversation. Cool insight behind the curtain a little bit on like some of the logistics mechanics, but no like major thing, right?
I don't know if I'd go that far. I think you might have been sleeping for part of that interview there, but we'll go with it. We'll go with it. No, honestly, there was nothing. It was really cool being able to talk to someone, and it was more so like confirming stuff that you could that people already know or you could assume is going on. It was nothing like groundbreaking that would be really good information to know. It was a fun time. I was very much looking forward to having a week off.
Yeah.
But alas, here we are.
And let us know in the live chat, like if you could have asked them anything, because we had the chance. We talked with them for about 2 hours. We had our certain questions that we dialed up, and they had certain things they got into. But like, what would you have asked them? And then maybe we can talk in generalities about, like, I recorded it. It just came where like none of the parties were comfortable posting it. It didn't make sense to risk relationships, lawsuits, whatever it may be. It's like, it's just not worth. What's the risk? What's the reward? It was a very negative EV thing. Even if the percentage chances were low, it just didn't work out. Sounds like we're terrible interrogators, but they gained the competitive advantage and now don't want to share. I see how it is.
Yes.
This will only serve to fuel the tinfoil hat conspiracies. Now Dan and Nick know everything, and they're just not going to share it with us. I've
got a good idea for tomorrow.
Okay.
I don't know if I should say it. I'm gonna. Well, I guess we don't have many people in here. I don't know. I was thinking post something on Instagram tomorrow with like a bunch of PSA, because I have all my PSA 10 gray felt hats. Post a picture on Instagram tomorrow.
Oh no!
Look what sub I just got back.
Oh man, how many of those? That actually, yeah, gray felt has like $2,500 now. How many of those do you still have?
I think I've got 10 that I set aside, and then I think I have 15 or 20 that I've been meaning to list and I just never have.
And you have pristines, and
I've only got one pristine. I got one pristine for my own collection, and then I think I might have some CGC 10s, and then mainly PSA 10s.
I have one PSA 10 that I kind of like bought from our play. I have one sealed copy that I like bought from our play that's not gradable, and I have no others. I paper handed that play.
I told you to keep like 20 of them. I told you. You didn't listen.
It's so crazy and so dumb, but like, this stuff doesn't have to be rational. I'm not like losing sleep over it. I made a lot of money. I could have made way more money, a stupid amount more money, but I'm happy. I could have also not bought it too. I was fighting. Like Nick, you were one of the guys that didn't buy into a case with me, and I picked up the phone and I called a couple of people. It's like, it was a stupid play. It was a risky, stupid play from the outset. I got told no by most people. Only me and Radar were crazy enough to go for it, and I'm glad I like convinced him. I'm glad I talked him into it. He didn't require much convincing. Everyone else did, and I tried, and I couldn't convert anyone else. So me and John went in halvesies on a case. We could have easily bought a case or two each ourselves, because there was multiple cases available. I could also be a Bitcoin billionaire too. I first bought Bitcoin. I first looked at Bitcoin when it was $8 a coin. I first bought it when it was like 50 or I think I first bought it when it was $200 a coin. I looked at it from 8 to 2 to 200, and then I bought some and I gambled it away. But no, yeah. If people want to ask,
speaking of felt hats, did you see someone grade 2 black labels recently? That's
consecutive cert too. I saw that.
That's absurd.
Maybe they did an interview with a professional grader as well. I don't know. Yeah, I saw it. It was nuts. John and I, Radar and I, tried for some. We graded like 10 of the cleanest from the case. I pre-graded harder than I've ever pre-graded. We sent beauties, and we got some BGS 10s. We sold one BGS 10 for like $5,000. Back when the PSA 10, that was back when the PSA 10 was like 1,000. So I don't even know what the black labels are. Sorry, the BGS 10s are right now. But yeah, all I was gonna say is like, hey, title, thumbnail. We did talk to a professional grader. Nothing crazy came out of it. But like, if people want to talk about it in generalities, we can. We can't give you what company it was. We can't give you like uber super specifics. But we did vet the individual. The individual definitely had worked for one of these major companies, and it was an interesting conversation. But again, we were talking before we went live. Like 2 weeks ago, I was teasing. It was somebody from the industry, and it could have been an auction house. It could have been a distributor. It could have been a printer. It could have been a grader. I listed those examples. In all reality, I know people who work in distro. I now know people who work in grading card companies, and we know Cam. Cam very publicly works at a grading card company, right? Not as a grader, but like in the company. So I think a lot of us know and interact with, to some extent, if you're deep in Discords, deep in YouTube, you probably know and interact with. Maybe you don't know that they work there, but like you probably work with people involved. And generally the answer is like all these like crazy schemes and things that people think go on and tinfoil hats. Like most of them are just flat out not true. If you talk to a professional grader, it will be remarkably less interesting than your mind has probably built it up to be. It was interesting, I'll give you that. But if you're looking to have your confirmation bias of like pop control or grading standards changing or like some nefarious happenings with distro, with any of these, it's probably just not true. Occam's razor steps in. The most likely outcome, the simplest outcome, is probably just the fact that consistently inconsistent is just all it is. And that, I promise you, that is all it is. We've seen the other side of the curtain. We've spoken with them, and that's all it is. One exception though, and if you're out there, my DMs are open. Nick's DMs are open. If you work for any printing facility, we'd probably have to do it shrouded in mystery. It would be way too hot for YouTube. But talking to somebody that works at a print facility above all other industries, above the graders, above the distros, above everyone else, what is going across the printers today? What was going across the printers a month ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago? What orders are coming across your desk that are going across the printers in 6 months? Like if you could talk to a manager, if you could talk to somebody like that, that would have obscene value, surpassing way beyond any other industry professional. At least in my opinion. I don't even think that's opinion. I think that's just outright objective fact. Like people think there's all these different things going on, but in reality, like whoever's keeping that information tight to their chest, hundreds of people, thousands of people must have that information. Employees, people related to employees, whatever. It's crazy. We don't hear more about that.
Yeah, that part is wild. That nobody has assumably heard from someone who works at a print facility.
And one thing that I thought about doing,
you can't imagine those people are making much money. It's probably like a minimum wage job.
So I've actually asked this to people who are like deep in TCG spaces. I've asked like, how is this not a thing? And one reasonable answer that I got was that this stuff is like pretty tight security wise. Like they're not having phones out there. They're not. And one thing that I heard is like they use a lot of temps. They use a lot of temps that, and maybe they're using temps that don't speak English, or it feels like no matter what kind of person you're hiring, it feels like at some point they're going to Google what they're doing, right? Like if you're sitting in a print facility all day and all you see is Charizard, Umbreon, you think you'd like Google some of the stuff that you were working with, right? You think that you'd have some amount of insight. But I heard that they just hire people that are ignorant of the industry and they use a lot of temps and they just keep things tight. That still kind of blows my mind that it would stay as tight as it is.
Yeah.
But I thought about with the thumbnail, with the title, I was kind of teasing a couple weeks ago. I was teasing like it was somebody involved with printing or grading or distro or something, selling platform. I thought about teasing like, hey, we talked to somebody that works with Millennium. They're printing Evolving Skies. Like I feel like we could have done something interesting there, but sadly, we did not talk to a print facility employee or worker, and we don't know what they're printing right now. Presumably, Prismatic, 151, the things that we see coming out right now. But imagine how much value there would be. Like, hey, up through June, we were printing 151 like mad, and then it just stopped. Since July, there's not been an ounce of it. There's been nothing of it. Like, hearing things like that, then you could kind of confirm, like, a lot of people, it's coming up on 2 years. I think a lot of people, the bundles have been dropping, the poster collections have been dropping, all these things relentless, one after another after another. And it seems like in the past month, maybe it's drying up. To get that confirmation, it would probably just like do numbers on the packs overnight.
No, even without that confirmation, it's wild.
151 is like a $14 pack now. Yep. I'm paying. What am I paying on my hot buy list? 12, I think. I think my most recent one I'm paying. Or is it? No, let me double check, just so I'm not saying the wrong number. $11.50. I'm paying $11.50 this week on 151. After I've been paying $9 a pack since like February, and it's been on my hot buy list every week since February for between $9 and $9.50. It was $10 for a while, $10.60, and then boom, $11.50. It's shooting up there.
Yeah,
1406 per TCG player right now. And yeah, if you could hear like, oh, we're going to town on Phantasmal Flames. We have orders 10 times the size of what we had for Mega and Destined Rivals and this, and like we just don't know. Unfortunately, we didn't get that insight. I don't blame Dan, although he already went up against Nat once and got smoked. That's hilarious. Oh, here we go. Pokechef says one of my own line cooks got a job at Millennium Print Group.
Oh, Chef.
I mean, Chef.
That'd be a good return to YouTube right there, Chef.
Chef, you've got to you've got to renew that connection, and you've got to keep in touch. Keep in touch with that individual. There's got to be people who know that, and the thing is, like, the reality is, there's probably people. Well, there's definitely people very high up at Pokemon, very high up at Millennium. They know what they're ordering. They're intentionally deciding reprint this, don't reprint that, but like, they're not going to really let stuff spill. They're not going to let stuff leak for the most part, I wouldn't think. But there's probably a lot of people that just like, they have extremely valuable information. They don't know how valuable it is, and they don't know what to do with it. They wouldn't know what to do with it. Like, I'm not saying they're doing this. I highly doubt they're doing this. But if they started a reprinting Evolving Skies booster boxes, the value that information would have, and the people in there would like probably really not know. They would have no actions to take on that. And yeah, I'm not saying that's happening, but like, if that happened, if they knew that like, hey, the print order for Destined Rivals was only a quarter of what the print order for Phantasmal Flames is, and doesn't seem like it's the case, but it would be really cool. Let me scroll up and make sure I didn't miss any questions. But yeah, appreciate everyone being here. Appreciate Nick for being here, even though as oh wait, yeah, I highlighted the wrong one. Wait, this isn't a recording. Nick is seething right now. Nick was in fact seething. He refused to wake up even on time. He slept right through his alarm. He did not want to be here.
Nice. I woke up so refreshed. Then I looked at my phone and I started panicking.
Oh, here's another one. Just Bryce says, I live in North Carolina, and one of the group chats had a real ass offer to work for the Pokemon printers, and yeah, it's basically not worth most adults' time to do. 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. shifts, which is the hours. So is it like rotating 4 12s? Because I used to work for a company. Well, I used to be an engineer, the meme. We used to have like a 24/7, 365 operation. We did it a couple different facilities. We did it different ways, but the way we did it, the main facility I was at, we had 4 shifts, A, B, C, D, and they alternated every other week. They alternated Sunday. So like A shift would be, did they alternate Sunday? Maybe they alternated Friday. I think A shift was like Sunday to Tuesday. It was 3 days, Sunday to Tuesday, 6 to 6, AM to PM or PM to AM, vice versa. And then the other one was like Wednesday to Friday. And then they alternated the Saturday, whatever it was. There was one day they alternated, but it was like 3 12s, 3.5 12s. 1 week you're working 4 12s. The next week you're working 3 12s. And then it just alternated that way. They actually liked it. The way that it worked out is they'd get straight time for the 3/12 week. So you'd get 36 hours of straight time, and then you'd get like time and a half the week that you do. So you'd get like 52 hours straight time for your 48 hours worked the other week. And then every other weekend you have a full weekend. You have you have the Sunday or whatever. But like I've not been hourly ever. I've always been like a salary position. But I would greatly prefer 3.5 12s to 5 8s, me personally, depending
100%.
on
100%.
like the longer your commute is, the more beneficial that is as well. Like if I'm gonna work, I'd rather just give away that whole day. Let me be there 10, 12, 14 hours, and then get 4-day weekends, 5 day, like every weekend. That actually sounds that sounds amazing. I kind of do that to some extent. I will take a week off, go do whatever, hang out with the family, go on a vacation, and then I'll just work 12, 14-hour weeks till I'm caught up. Like I'll work all day while the kids are at school. I'll work all night and until I'm caught up. Like I like that a lot, actually. So
I'm calling BS on that. It's more like you take the whole summer off and then work the whole school year.
Your employee is calling cap as well.
Hey, I at least gave you work hard during the school year. Walrus over there saying you work 3-4 hours a day.
Oh, yeah. It was pay in line with the revolving door of temps you were describing. That's where the issue arises. Like, yeah. Hopefully they're not listening. Hopefully this doesn't violate my NDA that I definitely signed. My former company did not pay well. We had a revolving door. It was a big issue while I was there. It was the good fight that I was trying to fight for my my production guys, and they wouldn't pay the competent ones to retain them. They'd wonder why so many were incompetent, and it's like you guys are paying so little. It's like you could go down the street to any of the fast food joints we go to for lunch, and they could get as much money, if not slightly more in some instances, and they wouldn't have to deal with harsh chemicals, and they wouldn't have to wear a respirator, and maybe they'd get some fry oil spattered on their arm here and there. But yeah, crazy lawsuit incoming. Brad's gonna clip that, and he's just gonna send that to every engineering firm that he can find in New York State.
Yes.
He's gonna put out like an infomercial. Did you have this guy as an employee between the years of this and this? You may be entitled to a class action lawsuit for violation of his NDA. Oh man. But yeah, let me scroll back and make sure I didn't miss any questions. We are not getting the interview. BB says, Nick, wake up. You have a podcast to fall asleep in. This is a good one. Krabby says, I'm not mad, just disappointed.
He's taking one from your playbook.
I know. I put that in my that was my title for Monday. With what do you think about all that? What do you think about all the?
I hate to say it. What was it? I assume it was about the $4 million sale.
In the articles that are being written, Kotaku made one, Dexerto made one. Since I'm getting sued already, let me just throw a bunch of these names out there and maybe get sued by them too. All these people made, while there's an active thread, and I know E4 is not like a mainstream site most people would know about, but if you're going to like write an article on a subject, you should be familiar enough with that subject to like people who would have the ability and the experience and expertise, whatever, to legitimize and verify the sale of a $4 million illustrator. I feel like most of them would be aware of Scott. Most of them would know about E4. And clearly, none of these journalists had that. It's just, and I didn't get into the politics and the modern day, like what's going on in that. But it goes on in like real stuff too. Like Pokemon cards, who cares? $4 million, not $4 million. Who cares? Who's harmed by that? True. Not like nobody really, not many people. But like when real life things happen, and it's not just, it's all of them. I think New York Times posted certain things they had to retract, and it's just crazy how things get rushed to the printers posted to get those clicks, get that division, and make the money without any regard for facts.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
It's wild. It's wild. They just gotta get those clicks. That's all that's important.
Mm-hmm. Aiden McDermott says now the term "release the files" has a brand new meaning. I missed that one originally. How's it going, L-Dubs? The amount of gatekeeping and gaslighting is at an all-time high.
Yeah.
Krabby says in Pennsylvania they made non-compete illegal. At the risk of getting somebody in trouble at my former company, multiple somebodies at my former company, I worked with people who went from one engineering job with one company to an engineering job at my company. And I was in meetings, I was in conversations with them where they were adjacent to certain product lines at their former company. Those product lines existed in our company. Non-competes existed, NDAs existed, but like navigating that whole space is actually pretty wild. Like, again, if you're grading cards, it's like CGC, BGS, PSA. It's all public what their scales are. Like there might be some intricacies of what go on day to day within the company that they don't want being shared, whatever. But like, it's not rocket science. It's not like we, my former company, we had like very secretive. We were so secretive about some of the things that we did. We didn't publish a patent. We didn't patent a lot of the things we did, because what would happen with patents is some companies in the other side of the world didn't give a crap. They just take the patent, copy it fully, or just make minor tweaks and then just run with it. And you'd have really no jurisdiction. You'd have really not much, or to be able to try to capitalize on that, it's just not worth it. So yeah,
I think that's the biggest thing is like what can these companies really do, especially like if it's someone who's already left that company. What are you gonna do? You're gonna spend a fortune going after this person, and they don't have any money to actually pay you.
That's the thing with this though, is like this is company versus individual. So there's a big power dynamic. Like in the instance of my former company, they're not going to patent a thing that somebody on the other side of the world is just going to steal and make, because like logistically trying to sue them for patent infringement, copyright infringement, all that stuff. It's just like, it's not, because then you're competing against another company in another country, in another continent. Like it just made more sense to like make something good, sell a lot of it. People are going to reverse engineer it one way or the other eventually, oftentimes. And that was some of what I did. Some of what I did was looking at the market, looking at the competing products and trying to reverse engineer those. But then simultaneously having people that worked at my company that formerly worked for some of the competitors that weren't saying certain things, but maybe were saying certain things, NDAs, non-compete, like that whole world. I used to live in that world a little bit, and it was never an issue for me, because like I only worked for one company for 10 years, but I was not comfortable with some of the things that were being shared and said by people who theoretically were under non-competes, non-disclosures. I'll say that. If they cut rates in 10 minutes, will Pokemon immediately double or triple? Or are we thinking quadruple? Quadruple would be a nice clean 10K on the gray felt hat. So I'm targeting quadruple. I'm going to also Google rate cuts, and I'm going to see what we got. 1/4 point interest rate cut. So, and sees 2 more coming this year. So we got a 1/4 point today, and then we're probably getting 2 more rate cuts this year, it says. So let me look at the SP 500. That boring old thing.
You taking a mean question seriously?
The SP 500 is down 0.13%, but at 2 p.m. there was a not a huge spike, but there was a spike. Like it's like a straight up line on the chart for like. Well,
it makes sense. Didn't you hear? Pokemon's outperforming the S&P 500.
I know.
Everyone's leaving their stock portfolios and going straight into Pokemon right now.
So I mean, if you extrapolate, let me look up the market cap total. We do know the market cap of Gray Felt Hat is $100 million now. So what's the total market cap of the SP 500? So since everyone's going to bail from that, $55.63 trillion is about to head into the Gray Felt Hat. Say that they double the pop in the next month. Say they double the pop in the next 2 months. I mean, $55 trillion divided by 100,000 PSA 10s. Let me that's so many zeros to fumble with. 55 trillion divided by 100,000 is $550 million. Gray Felt Hat PSA 10 to $550 $550 million? Question mark. I mean,
cannot wait for that to happen. I'm gonna rub it in so much.
I mean, it's math. It's math. So I just demonstrated factually with
mathing over there.
I demonstrated with actual math. Facts don't care about your feelings. The market cap of the inferior S&P 500 is 55 trillion. Rationally, logically, it should all go into the gray felt hat, which is superior. So gray felt hat to $550 million. Being conservative, let's say 100 million, just to be safe, just to cover our bases. We'll say only 20% of the forecasted number. Is that a good enough margin of safety? I never was a civil engineer, but I think when they're designing bridges, when they're designing things like that, a 5x factor of safety feels safe. That feels quite safe. Let me make sure I didn't miss any other. Krabby says, I would be very curious if they grade multiples of the same card, the same as bulk, different cards, like 20 or 30 in a row, the same card. That was one of the things that we brought up. I brought up how I've graded 50 or 100 in a row of the same card. And they did say, and again, this was one individual amongst the hundreds that grade at PSA, CGC, BGS. So this is one amongst hundreds. And I promise you, they don't have like robotic consistency. They don't have robotic, like they're not all entirely on the same page as much as these companies want them to be. But you remember what they said about like, oh, if you send 20 of a card, there are instances where maybe if they all 9, we might. That seemed kind of weird to me. That they were losing me a little bit when they said that.
It kind of made sense to me.
It didn't make any sense.
No, I don't know how. Well, yeah, I don't even know what to say. It kind of made sense to me. I can see the logic behind that. But yeah, I'll just
one big thing I always push back with is like you can't control, and then the whole staging thing. We asked them about like sending WotC first in the front and then Japanese in the back, or vice versa, and again, every individual is going to be different. The risk that the person that you send you don't want to send your WotC in with Japanese because you're worried it's going to look worse and it's going to be less likely to 10. You should have more faith in that in the graders if you believe in any of this. It is all kind of a joke, though. I'll give you that. But so you send your 50 WotC cards, only WotC. Well, you can't control whether or not the grader grabs before that Japanese Pokemon. They might grade 50 Japanese Pokemon, and then they grab your WotC submission, and then they're grading your 50 WotC. Well, good thing you didn't put them after 50 Japanese cards because they grabbed them after 50 Japanese cards. Or even worse, One Piece or something like that with like black label rates at 20, 50%. Like that's the whole thing that really loses me with all that. The inconsistency, every grader is going to be different. I've seen this before with Red's Pikachu years ago. I got like 50 PSA 10s in a row. I got 20 PSA 10s in a row, multiple different submissions. I think it's just as logical that like you send 50 of the same card that's bulletproof, that's always 10. I could see human graders being lazy, and I could see them being like, oh, Red's Pikachu, 10. Red's Pikachu, 10. Rifling through in their hands, 50 more Red's Pikachus, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and then just like kicking back in their chair and just daydreaming. Like just as much as you can have a logical theory as to why it would help your grade to do something, I feel like I can push back with something that would go the other way too. Like it doesn't make sense to me. A lot of those things.
Mm-hmm. And now we'll never know.
Yeah.
Hey, that's turning into a good play. Most mediocre play of 2025 now. Instead of worst play. We're moving up the ladder. We're moving up the ladder there.
my 7s and 8s aren't being helped. If you go on to Fanatics right now, someone open up a browser, go on to Fanatics, search Ancient Mew Insert CGC, and when you see the 5, the 5.5, the 6.5, those are me.
Oh, God.
I sent over 100 of the gray felt hat blind. Literally, I didn't pre-grade them at all. It's like an insert card. I just chuck it. And I did generally well. I absolutely had some 7s, 8s, whatever, very small fraction. I didn't really think long, clearly, but I sent like 50 Ancient Mew ones blind. I got destroyed. They're 25 years old. They're not brand new like the Gray Felt Hat ones. I should have put some amount of brain power into that, but I turned the brain entirely off for that one, as many people on YouTube tell me to do, and it didn't work. I got punished for having my brain all the way off. Your brain can be too far off. I went full brain off. You can never go full brain off.
Luckily,
but-
we kept most of ours or sealed.
How many
I graded some
grade
at
sealed?
I graded some at the national. Did not do well. I think I have 25 or 50 at CGC. I'm assuming those aren't going to do well, but luckily we kept most of them sealed. And
I haven't pre-graded these ones yet.
They're gonna stay sealed. Don't even bother. Don't even bother. Just stick them in a box.
I don't know how many this is, but this many I have not pre-graded. This many I have that were pre-graded to not be gradable, and then I sent over 100 to CGC in total. I sent nearly 100 to PSA. I sent maybe 20 or 25 to BGS.
Oof.
I'm
no, those are like
120,
130 now, just sealed. So we're doing okay. We're doing okay.
I mean, my initial grades are rough.
Yeah, you might not do okay. You might have blown it there, but it's nice to see
but I mean,
L every now and then.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that one pans out.
Speaking of L's, well, I don't know if you've talked about this at all yet. Have you talked about your other grading play? That you bought something, you sent it right to Fanatics for CDC.
I haven't talked about it much on YouTube, but we can talk about it now. Let me pull up.
If you don't want to, if you want to do your own video, you can do that.
I wasn't going to turn it into a video because, like, I don't want to advertise the CGC Fanatics thing that thoroughly in the middle of a Pokeflipz. I feel like it's fine. A lot of people in chat right now are already grading with me. They already know it exists. But I guess I'll call them out by name too. So a lot of people in here. Or should I call out the place I bought from by name or no?
I think he's kind of expensive, so I don't know if I would recommend buying from him. But you can shout him out. Sometimes
he's a good deal. Sometimes he's not as good of a deal. Yub Chums. A lot of people probably know of Yub Chum. Some people might have bought from him, and I think he's gotten a little bit more mainstream, so he's gotten a little bit more expensive. And I'll say similarly, like Retro. Retro is 100% send money to him first, never gonna scam you. But like he's getting to be more of a name, more like premium now, and he's a little bit more expensive than he used to be on certain things at certain times. But sometimes he's cheaper than my other sources. Like always just check these people and then go with the one that makes the most sense. But Yub Chums, he used to sell, to get around the tariffs, he used to sell 550 ARs, Japanese ARs mixed. He used to sell them, and he used to sell them to people through Instagram. 550 ARs for 800 or 500. I think it was 550 for $900, a little over $1.60 a piece. I literally sent them. I bought some from him. I had him send them straight to my Fanatics, CGC grade them, and then sell them. And I actually did just get. I told people in my office hour last week. I told those people how it had gone, but let me. There's actually a little bit more data in there now as of today because today was payday. But as of that time, so I charged $7.50 for grading, 550 cards. Let me do that math again. So I had $4,125 in grading fees, and I had $800 and something in card costs. So just round it to 5,000 to say, round it to 5,000 to be safe with it. So I had $5,000 into this play where I literally, and I don't know if Yub Chum sends those in sleeves. I've bought AR lots like that before where they send them in penny sleeves, and some where they don't send them in penny sleeves. So Fanatics might have literally gotten 550 random ARs with no sleeves. Like I don't use card savers when I send to CGC Fanatics, but these might not have gone with sleeves. I genuinely don't know. Sorry, I'm just filtering this massive spreadsheet for. I put them in a certain folder so that I can see. But I will tell you exactly what I netted on that folder so far. I'll tell you how many cards remain. And I was hoping I'd lose money, genuinely, just so that I could feel something. I wanted to like lose a little money. It's like pinch me, am I dreaming? I want to make sure this isn't all just a dream. Let me lose a little money to make sure. And if this worked, I was just going to autopilot send every other week. I was going to send more every other week until it didn't work. But I will say that it didn't work. I lost some money.
Yes.
How much money did I lose? Let me total it right now. So
oh, you love to hear it. You love to hear it.
I netted how many? What's the count?
Whoa! You didn't net. You lost.
Well, I'm saying netting from Fanatics. Net payout from Fanatics was about $4,000, and there's still like 80 to go. There's like 80 to go, but most of the 80 to go, are like the CGC 5.5s that didn't get bids.
Oof.
So
Okay.
there's not much money coming from those 80.
But no.
But so I had $5,000 into it, and I netted about $4,000 out of it. I lost about $1,000, and that's off the public rate that I'm paying. A very intellectual mind would probably know that, like, if I'm offering a consignment service, I'm probably making money. I did not make money even at my own cost rates. Clearly, I charged some amount of additional money for the service to make money on the consignment, even at my cost. That is how thin my margins are. I did not make money even at my cost. I did not lose much, though. I got some volume. I pushed some cards through. I did not lose a whole lot of money. I lost some, but had someone publicly done that, they would have lost about $1,000, which is insane. I blind sent random. I'm not talking SIRs, like I'm talking Japanese art rares. Let me read you some of the cards that graced this list. Paradise Dragona AR Braviary CGC 7 near mint.
Ew.
Got a bid for $5. Buyer paid $6.
That's wild.
Like Battle Partners Swinub, Battle Partners Noibat, Battle Partners Whalelord, Team Rocket's Orbeetle.
Hey, don't be shitting on the Whalelord. That's such a good AR.
Heatwave Arena Rotom, Hydrapple. Like,
did you get many pristines, or were they all lower grades?
Stunfisk CGC 7.5. Super Electric Breaker. Maybe I will do a video. Maybe I guess I could also count if. Let me do a quick count if, and then I should be able to tell you like how many were pristine and everything. Because I have all the raw data in front of me right here. The only thing is I didn't like prep it for a video. Maybe I will just do a video at some point. I don't know. What should I do? Should I do a video, or should I just tell you now?
Whatever you want to do. I would actually watch that video of yours. So maybe I'll make a video. Because I don't watch many of your videos anymore. I hate to say it.
I mean, you just convinced me. Anyone who wanted me to say it today, I'm not going to say it today now. I will just do a full-fledged video recapping that play, the most degenerate play of all time, just blind sending absolute nonsense cards and still not being punished very much. But yeah, that was wild. Brad saying this is why you'll never go viral. I think like we have the one time we have a good interview and we don't post it, or maybe it was something else I said. I don't know.
Yeah.
From everything I've seen from you, I think you'd have zero qualms saying the opposite if you believed anything other than what you're saying. I think this is when I said that there was like nothing dramatic, nothing crazy that came out of the PSA interview. I think I could be reading this incorrectly, but I think Just Bryce is saying like, I believe you that it was like a fairly tame interview and there were no like massive revelations that would like shake the industry. I think like most people want a PSA, CGC, or BGS grader to come on and just like down with everything. They just want everything to burn it to the ground. Like, and trust me, like me, I think that's what this comment is saying. Me being how critical I am of grading, if and when there was some smoking gun as to like this crazy, scammy, scummy thing is going on in the background, I would want to bring that to light. Like I would absolutely want to bring that to light, even if it would harm me. But it just wasn't. None of that was there. None of that was there. And by no means, like, I didn't expect it to be there. I wasn't seeking for it to be there. I just truly don't think it's there. I don't think it's as deep as most people think it is. I think it's just a bunch of humans that go in and punch a clock every day, and they do their best, and generally they do pretty well. But consistently inconsistent is what the output is, and from the other side, from people this deep involved in it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Java knows a guy who knows a guy who knows someone who works at MPG. You better make friends up that chain, Java.
Oh God.
How much of your sealed product you're holding back would you sacrifice to have your hair back?
None.
That's
I'll
hilarious.
take cards
None.
over hair.
Yeah, I will take financial independence over hair. I wonder if I could. I cut my hair pretty short. I use a 1. I do 1/4 of an inch the whole way when I cut it. I've thought about just going full. I've never been since I was like 2. I have a funny home video. I think there's a home video. I've been told this story so many times. I feel like there's a home video of me rubbing my head saying smooth, and then like daddy cut my hair smooth. Like my dad, my mom was so mad at my dad like 30 something years ago. He just like completely buzzed it right down. I've never, since I was 2, I've never buzzed it all the way down. But I've thought about it. It's like it would grow back in a couple of weeks. It'd probably look terrible. My head's probably like horribly misshapen. But maybe I'll do it one of these times.
We had to do that. We had to do that for because they did like a 2-week boot camp orientation at college, and that was one of the things they did. Gave us all buzzed heads.
How'd you look with a buzz cut?
I didn't like it.
Any weird birthmarks or misshapen ivies you found?
It was just super white because I don't go. Do not go outside as it is.
Yeah. And this is something that, like, again, we spoke with a grader. We're not tying it to a company or anything, but I know of people who work in various selling platforms. I know of people that work when some of the grading companies now are selling platforms to some extent, right? Some of them are participating in that. It's kind of like a weird thing. They're not allowed to obviously touch any of their own items, any of their own orders. They can't do any of that. The Professor Sports Cards guy, he even said the same. We can't touch our own orders. But many people in the space do participate in cards to some extent. The individual that we talked with, honestly though, was not very into cards. We did talk about that a little bit. Anything you want to add on that? The one that we talked to, not super into cards, but like some of them definitely did engage in the hobby.
And I think that makes sense too. Because obviously if you're working at a grading company, you'd assume that you have at least some interest in cards. Otherwise it'd be a dreadfully boring job.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine, like, and some of the numbers that we talked about, and a lot of this came up years ago. Just looking at PSA, looking at CGC, gem rate exists. You can kind of do the math. You can kind of back into the math on how many cards are graded a day by a grader. And we talked those numbers. We talked, and a lot of them fell in line. They're grading several hundred. I'm trying to look through my I've got just a notepad with the entire transcript of our thing. I'm trying to find the exact numbers that we were talking, but it's several hundred cards a day, as you would expect. And I couldn't imagine it. I could not imagine just every day going in, having a stack of this many cards, and every day it's just like you grade another 700-800 cards, another 700-800 cards. That's nuts to me.
Yeah.
But there's tons of people, like there's tons of assembly line jobs in all different industries across, and that's a lot of people's day. A lot of people's day is just taking an order from a person 100 times a day, putting this widget on, putting this piece on this widget, down the conveyor belt, down the, like, assembly line type stuff. That's a very common kind of job. The truth is, it's really, really easy to steal product directly off the line, like singles. No difference from the designer bags disappearing off the line and being sold on secondary market. Yeah, I wonder. That's one thing that they said too. The sports card interview that the guy got in trouble about. He said, like, think of the bank with the most cameras you've ever seen in one place. This is more than that. Like, there are more cameras inside these grading card companies than the bank that you go to, probably. And I think that was the case with the person we talked to as well. I would imagine Millennium and all these other printers, they've got to be pretty locked down. We were pretty locked. Like my former company, we were pretty locked down. We again, I was there 10 years. There were different policies. The 10 years I was there, every facility was a little bit different. But there were certain facilities where you put your phone in a locker outside the room. The phones did not enter certain rooms, certain cells, just entirely. And I towards the end of me being there, I think they were trying to make a more sweeping policy of just like banning cell phones. But that's I forget if I was listening to a podcast or what it was, but somebody who had like worked involved in like an independent contractor, outside contractor coming into like a nuclear facility or something. And in those, it's like, so it's probably not nuclear facility level security, but probably higher than a bank, to be honest. But yeah, those ones, like, you're not bringing a cell phone in. You're going through some kind of like full body TSA scanner, but like a real one that actually does something, not just TSA.
They actually did that on the ship when we'd carry Ospreys, like the helicopters that can turn into planes. You couldn't take any pictures you could take pictures of like the outside, but you couldn't take pictures like in the cockpit. And then anytime, because like when we load them, go to sea, we'd have to check the lashings every day, and you'd actually have to bring. They had 2 military guys that would come on the ship and be on the journey to wherever they're going, and you'd have to have them come with you before you went down in the cargo hold and checked all the lashings and all that. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah. Peek that shoe. I want both of your thoughts on Phantasmal. I truly believe it's going to be the most expensive booster box at release. Thoughts? Yes, Dan, I know you're bearish as you sit on your fence.
Ooh, let's hear your thoughts, Dan. What's the price?
I could see it. Let me see what it is today first, because I never know. I don't follow stuff that far out
yet. I think it's too early because the set's not coming out till November.
TCG Player shows pre-sale only 3 listings, but it shows pre-sale for $345. Let me see eBay. Phantasmal Flames booster box on eBay. Pre-sale, I see 300. Confirmed, pre-order, pre-sale, blah, blah, blah. Like, upside, downside, I don't see it being lower than 250 at release. Like I just, given the one, this is Mega Evolution, not Phantasmal. I don't know. Again, I don't hear as much as quickly as your Rudy's, your Eli's, your Danny Phantoms. I don't hear as much from Distro. I'm not as big of an account from Distro as those guys are. But like I've heard, so my Mega Evolution turned into 2 waves, but then it turned into 3 because my wave 1 is now wave 1A and 1B, and then wave 2 is wave 2. So it's like there's actually 3 waves for Mega Evolutions. I've heard, not firsthand, I've heard secondhand that Phantasmal is going to be wave as well. I think I heard Rudy say that, but I can't remember.
They had that. They mentioned that on my distro's website. When you put your pre-order in, it's gonna be a wave again.
So I would say low side 250, like with 99% confidence. I don't see it coming out under 250. And then high side, like it could be $500. It could be $500 on release day, release week.
Stop it.
It could be. What do I think it will? So
come on.
And Nick, I'm a bear. I'm a bear.
0.01% chance it could be 500.
So you're saying there's a chance, Nick. So you're saying there's a chance.
God, it's gonna come out anywhere between $1 and $1 million. That's
I'm saying 250. I'm saying 250 to 500. Come on.
That is such a wild range.
But I'll give you the actual guess though. So I set my upper and lower bounds with 99% confidence intervals, 200 to 500, and then I'm gonna say 350. 350. I think it'll be.
Man,
It's 345 and it's 300 right now. What are you thinking? I mean, I'm a bear, so it's got to be higher, right?
I was saying Mega's like the Mega Evolution's like 260 right now. So I think 300. I'm gonna say 300 on the nose.
Nick, it's Charizard and Gengar.
I know. That's why I'm saying 300. Double MSRP at release.
How many Charizards were in Destined Rivals and Journey Together? How many Gengars were in Destined Rivals and Journey Together? Nick, it's simple math. It's Charizard plus $100, Gengar plus $100. Boom, done.
No, I do think 300. I think that's a good number. I think it's gonna happen.
Grammar says the rate cut is already priced into S&P, but not into Pokemon. Nick, did you forget that we just had the rate cuts 41 minutes ago? I'm at 350 because I'm forecasting the 25 basis point rate cut that we just got, and 2 more coming. Nick, 2 more are coming. 350. Come on, quit being such a bear. If everyone sells their SP 500, does that make it become undervalued at some point? Yes. If and when trillions of dollars of value started dumping out of the S&P 500, your Berkshire Hathaways would go to town. The way that you think you go to town when you get 13% cash back on TCG Player, Warren Buffett will be feasting if and when people sell to buy all the gray felt hats. Warren Buffett will be a happy man. Math do be mathing. Can you say those company names again a little slower with a little more emphasis on the important one for the conversation? Thanks. Okay, ready? I'll list them all again. PSA, CGC, BGS, and XYZ. Don't forget the XYZ one. We interviewed a grader. It could have been somebody with PSA, CGC, BGS, or XYZ. So one of those grading companies, we interviewed a grader. Some labels have a disproportionate effect on price relative to others, such as BGS Black Label. Any conspiracies about some individuals having a black higher label rate? This seems easier to manipulate than something that has a much higher pop like PSA. There are like tons of threads on blowout forums and E4 talking about like these graders who grade black labels with such a higher rate. One thing that I always push back on is like ultimately at the end of the day, the individual assigning a PSA 10 is a human. The individual signing a CGC Pristine is a human. The individual assigning a black label is a human. So like if somebody can do it on the inside, why can't somebody do it fairly consistently on the outside? I would push back on myself there by saying consistently inconsistent. The finer the measurement, the harder it is to replicate, blah, blah, blah. But like people are doing it every day on the inside. By definition, a PSA grader has 100% rate at predicting what's a 10 and what's a 9 because they are the scale. Mm-hmm. Inside Beckett, there are humans. I promise you this. There are humans inside Beckett who have with 100% certainty the ability to discern a black label from a pristine, from a gem mint, by definition, because they are the scale. They are that. Like I hope I'm not losing people because literally there are humans on this planet that have a 100% gem rate, a 100% pristine rate, and a 100% black label rate. They are the humans assigning those grades. So like, why wouldn't somebody outside theoretically be able to have a very high one as well, right? The entire framework of professional grading relies on the assumption that there are eyes that can discern better than others. There are these expert third-party opinion renderers. And one thing that's funny too is like the amount of money a black label eye pays on the inside versus the outside. Where does a black label eye make more money? Where does a pristine eye make more money? Mm-hmm. Do they make more money making again, some numbers were thrown around, and do they make more money making 20 to 30, 40 bucks an hour as a grader at one of these companies? Or do they make more money grading big Macachus and selling them for $21,000? Mm-hmm. Like, so the whole conspiracy thing, like all that, I hope everything I just said there made sense.
I think it did. I think the biggest takeaway is that humans are inconsistent, robots are consistent, therefore tag is the best option.
Shout out Java
biggest
Akuma.
takeaway.
Shout out Java Akuma. So one thing that I'll tease here a little bit, I might have some content coming on my channel in the coming weeks, maybe months. It's going to require a little bit of editing, but I may or may not have had an exclusive in-person interview with a tag raider. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. That will drop on my channel at some point.
What? I just caught on to that.
Don't dig too deeply. You'll see what I mean. Nick, make sure you ring that bell. Make sure you actually watch my videos. There'll be a good one coming up.
Oh God. Can't wait for you to have like those little robot toys on your desk next to you. Beep boop beep boop. Beep.
I've actually had this conversation with people like at the various companies, and it goes back to the question that was asked earlier about like, are they allowed? UAP asked, are they allowed to engage in cards? And like a lot of these companies, and I'll just list a lot of them so as not to be like Golden, Heritage, eBay, Fanatics, whatnot. All these companies have desire to have like experts on their payroll. They want people who know Pokemon. But one big thing that they're facing, and even guys like you and me, one big thing that we face to some extent is like, how are we going to hire and retain talent when they can make so much money using their expertise in the space? It's like if you were to, as a platform, say like, hey, I need you to know everything about Pokemon, but then you're going to work for me for 80 grand a year. How is that going to work? It's like, why am I going to work for you for 80 grand a year and then not be allowed to do anything in the Pokemon space when I could just be in the Pokemon space and make $200,000 a year? Like, what are we talking about here?
People are lazy. People don't want to. People.
That is
risk
and laziness.
People don't want.
I know.
It's people being lazy, and then also not just laziness, but also that guaranteed paycheck. Whereas we rely on Pokemon. If something happens to the market, we suffer. Whereas PK, Ponga, Thrifty, Walrus, people who are working, they're not going to suffer. They'll suffer indirectly, hopefully not, but it's not going to be as bad for them.
Yeah. Weedle says Dan knows about One Piece. How many more zeros could Dan have in his bank account balance if he knew about One Piece? I get One Piece allocations. I just got my wave 2 of OP12, I think it was. I sent that bad boy right to Probstein. I think it's up on Probstein right now. I have no idea what it is. I have no idea what the chase card is. I'm just selling it. I make a little bit of money just putting my allocation into the open market, and yeah, no engaging deeper. I probably could make more money if I did, but I've done well with One Piece. I've made multi 5 figures net profit, I would say, in the past this year, I would say. Grimer calling me bad for getting my CGC 6.5s on Ancient Mew inserts. Quilly wondering if he should be sending Ditto inserts. I mean, CGC will probably put them in plastic.
They look so good.
Grimer says yes.
Oh, God. They look
I never bought any of those. Wait, did I see a Quaxley?
What?
Or was that a Quaxwell? Did I see a Quaxley or just a Quaxwell? I see a Quaxwell.
Oh, Quaxwell. It's Prigatito. Yeah, no
Quaxley. There's no Quaxley? Oh,
no,
man.
Quaxley.
Trash. But yes, you can send them. UAP says, if you had a sealed case of Ancient Mew, 1K per case, how would you divvy up the 1,000? I bought 400. So, like, I had quite a few. I sent 100 to CGC, 100 to PSA, 25 to Beckett, and then the rest I haven't pre-graded and/or I'm sitting on sealed. Because did you send any? I think I sent 25 in the cellophane. I don't like it, but like some people do. So I sent 25 in the cellophane to try to grade them and see if I can get 10s that way.
I haven't sent any yet. Pack submissions are We have one that's been there since it got marked as received like April 10th, and it's
Nice.
still just sitting in assembly. It's
Nice.
wild. Yeah, the pack submissions are just all submissions are depressing. We've got CGC that's been there since the beginning of June. PSA and not much, but April. I don't think we're ever going to get a single card back again.
I looked as of like every week. I'm scheduling a little over 1,000 cards that are graded with CGC to be sold on Fanatics. I was scheduling cards this morning that people sent to me on August 15th, and that's just over a month now. That'll go live tomorrow, so just over a month. As of a month ago, I was scheduling like I never saw. As of a month ago, I don't believe I saw a single submission that was over a calendar month from when it got delivered to Fanatics to when I was listing it on a Thursday. Not necessarily the date of the Thursday. Sometimes I'm listing it on Sunday for that Thursday, and then that will be over a month because they only have auctions go live every Thursday. But every one that I was doing for a while was under a month consistently. Now it's like 4 to 5 weeks. I'm seeing 4 to 5 weeks more consistently now. That's part of why
so much better.
Oh, it's way and it's for $750 a card.
Yeah,
$750 a card. That's part of why I guess I'll make a video about it. Some people in the chat probably won't be happy with me, but there's risk to me too. Like if someone sends really stupid stuff, they could owe money. They could, because I don't make them front the grading as of now. Maybe if I make a YouTube video, I have to say like, you send me 100 cards and you send me $750. But the people who sent me for a long time would always be grandfathered in. I've never had anybody have a bill, but I've had some people that didn't get much money out of it. And my Yub Chums play though, as crazy as it is, like my Yub Chums play, I'm losing about $1,000 on it per the public rates, and that wouldn't like I'm not owing Fanatics money, so like the grading fee is fully covered. I guess almost. Because the cost of the grading was like, what did I say? Oh, about 4,000. Mm-hmm. So I just about got the grading fee back. All said and done, maybe I would have owed myself a small amount of money. So
now,
I guess.
Does that include your $5 fee?
There's no $5 fee,
right? Oh, you don't do
I do. So if you send in graded already, I actually probably have it handy. If you send in graded already, it should be right here. Yes, if you send in graded already and it's under 120, there's a $5 fee for sub 120 because I need to make money somewhere, right? But the CGC Fanatics is a lot higher volume, a lot lower margin game. It's built into the $750 that I charge that I'm making some money, and it's not a whole lot, but the numbers work out. And sub 120, there's no $5 fee, and actually sub. I forget what the math works out to exactly, but it's same as public. It's same as public sub 120, and this fee here is actually slightly higher than public, I believe, for between 60 and 120. So I really try to not get sub 120 cards on my Fanatics proper consignment where it's already graded. But raw stuff, let them fly. I take a lot of cheap stuff, no surcharge, just $750 a card. That's paid after it's paid out of your funds. It's paid out of your payout, basically.
I gotcha.
Why don't you send card savers to Fanatics, Dan? You're welcome, Earth. I'm trying to save the planet, one card saver at a time. Why would you send card savers? Why do we send card savers at all? I'm sending.
I don't get it.
Like I'm a professional. I can pack 100 raw cards in penny sleeves so that they won't get damaged. So like, what point are the card savers serving? The people on the other end are professionals as well, and they know how to open a package and they know how to. So like, why would you send with a card saver? Now, if I'm sending, I have sent some like, I've sent some $1,000 cards. I've sent some like alt arts. I've sent some like first edition WotC stuff that for whatever reason it wasn't optimal for PSA. I've sent, but a lot of times the ones that I'm doing for those are like damaged ones, and half the time I'm still sending those just in penny sleeves. But you can send them in card savers, but like, why? Save yourself the money, save yourself the time, and yeah, that This is talking about the Yub Chubs thing. I love the idea of a rubber band brick of AR showing up at the next door with Dan written in crayon on the outside. That's probably exactly what it was. Imagine making so much money you want to lose money to feel something. Goals. It's like, pinch me. I must be dreaming. This market's booming so hard. Pinch me. Let me lose a little bit of money just to make sure that this is actually real life. And it is. It is. Oh God. Peak. Pull tabs. Gem Mint Pokemon. Good dude. Zach, I love you. Pull tabs are the worst thing Gem Mint Pokemon ever did for the hobby. I used to push back on it 10 years ago on E4. I thought it was the dumbest thing. It's like getting a card into and out of a card saver is so easy. You are sending it to people whose job is to take cards in and out of card savers. And you think they need a pull tab? What are you doing? Please stop it. Please stop it, Peak. I beg of you. Why?
And then,
Why
and
are
then
you
you
doing
had,
that?
and then after that, you had the people come out with the penny sleeves that had the tab on them.
Oh God, I hate those.
I never liked those.
You buy a collection that has those, and there's the ones where that folds down into the card. So it's like a penny sleeve that fully encapsulates the card, and you got to figure out which end to pull the. Oh my God, those things are miserable. These were all random ARs. I'll make the video because Yub Chums actually asked me. I don't know his relationship, his setup with like his source, but like he asked me how was the mix, and I said I have no clue. I didn't touch him, and he's like, "What are you talking about?" And I said I had you send him right to my vault, and I actually left it with him where I was gonna follow up and let him know what cards were there. But I think it would be cool to like find the single worst Cyber Judge Charge-a-Bug. Like what was the single worst card, and like how many didn't sell, and like that'll be a fun video. I'll have to do that at some point. But yeah, to only lose $1,000 from that is so wild. It's so nuts.
That is.
Never punished, or not punished enough, at least.
Not punished.
Do the buyers of those CGC 7.5s get a note in their package from Fanatics with a note saying, "Are you okay?" Oh man. Sounds like you can spare us of that video, Dan. I think it'll be a fun one. Please spare us of that video.
Krabby does not want you to upload that video. He's gonna be one of your big raw card consigners.
There are some consigners in this chat for sure. Card Party is already 2 weeks away. That's nuts. Let's hype up Card Party a little bit. Next episode, I guess, will be our official pre-card party.
No,
I'm leaving
because we're keeping the podcast Wednesday because of Card Party, and that'll be our last Wednesday podcast. We're getting back to Thursday.
2 weeks from now, I'll be finishing Pokeflipz, and I'll be going to pick up my kids and bring them to my parents, and I'll be picking up my wife and going to the airport. Like I'll be leaving. I'm going Wednesday night. Yeah, I fly out Wednesday night so that I can be there all day Thursday. And then I'm there through midday Sunday. But I'm not vending. I'm actually trying to just see Seattle a little bit too. Like I'll probably pick 1 to 1.5 days to do Card Party events and be there at the convention. But I sold my table off. I had a table. I sold that off. I'm just going to attend as a guest. I don't know. I'll see what it's all about. There's 3 of them next year. I watched last night. Pat did a stream, 20-minute stream or something. And the first one's in July. I guess spoilers if you don't want to know the spoilers. First one's in July in Florida. The second one is it's Labor Day weekend, I believe, September in Dallas. Yeah. And then there's a third one. So I think at Card Party in Seattle, he's going to announce Card Party, the third one for 2026. So that's pretty crazy.
That I'm surprised. I'm surprised he's doing more and more of them. I hope it doesn't turn into like a Collecticon type thing. I don't think it will, but hopefully
he said it wouldn't. He said that he would keep it smaller and he would keep it more like whatever it is. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what he scales to.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait for it. It's gonna
I
be
heard from people who were selling that went to the one in May or June or whenever it was, and I heard it was like tougher. I think they had a lot more vendors. I think they drastically extended the vendors, and I heard it wasn't as good as the first one or two for the selling side, just because there was so much more competition. And unlike a Collecticon, you didn't have tens of thousands of people flying through your booth with primarily like at Collecticon, that's what you do. You go to buy stuff, right? Maybe you're getting a signing, maybe you're there for Waka Flocka, whoever, the voice of a generation. But generally speaking, most people are there for buying. Whereas Card Party, it's like it's a lot of other things. And I'm this is your first one you're going to, right? You're not vending, you're just going.
Yep.
Are you going to be there like first event morning till the end of it, like the whole? You're gonna be at Card Party the whole time, or not?
I bought like that middle tier ticket in case I did want to kind of like take advantage and be like part of the show the whole time. But I can't imagine I'll be there the whole time. I think I'll probably go at some point Friday, check out the vendor hall, walk around, see what it's all about. And then probably walk around more Saturday, but I can't imagine doing like every single, like going to all the different panels and all that stuff.
There's a lot.
I think it'll be more
3 days.
Hanging out there, then going to grab lunch, hanging out with people, walking around Seattle. I think it'll be more like that. Kind of, it reminds me a lot of like Worlds. How like we walked around DC and checked out the sites, and then also did world stuff. I think it'll be similar to that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a nice change up, and I definitely want to spend a day. My wife's coming. I want to spend a day with her doing Seattle stuff, whatever Seattle stuff, some hike, some whatever. I don't know what we're gonna do entirely, but I definitely want to do some Seattle stuff too. I've been to the airport, but I've never really been.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, 2 weeks away. Looking forward to seeing everyone. I know a lot of people are going. I won't be going, sadly. I'm assuming you're going to Chicago Collecticon the week after because you live there.
Yeah.
But I won't be back-to-back weekends going for it because I'm doing Wednesday to Sunday, so it's a pretty big one for Card Party.
Yeah, I'm gonna do. Luckily, I found a flight, or Thrifty found a flight, and then I booked the same one. Thursday morning, we leave at like 6, and then get there at like 9:30, maybe 7, something like that. But we get there really early, which is awesome. So I'm going Thursday to Sunday. I think I leave at like 10 Sunday morning, something like that.
We get there at like midnight. Wednesday night, so like functionally we're paying for a little bit extra, one extra night in the hotel, and we're just going to be sleeping. So like biggest thing for us that we wanted to be there early-ish Thursday, coming from New York, connecting flight, no direct flights, like there's no way for us to have gotten there before like 3 p.m. without so it's like you might as well go in the evening as opposed to getting up at 4 a.m. to still not make it until 4 p.m. or something. So
yeah, for sure.
Trippy Hits wants to hear more about the insert card play. So, like when you get an Ancient Mew, you get the insert card that comes with it that just tells you about the Ancient Mew. When you have the gray felt hat, you have the insert. But yeah, CGC, a lot of the grading card companies will grade the insert cards, and some of them it makes sense. Some of them there's like things to see and look at, but like some of them are really ugly and they still get graded and they still like make money. It's kind of silly, but here's one that I never. What is this one? Oh, this is the Iona's Watch Rail. I never sent any of those, but like, why not? I'll send some. They're probably low pop. They're probably low pop.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing until Walrus. Walrus was the one who got me into that. Because he did the plastic that one, and I think he sold a pristine for it was some absurd amount. I want to say it was like $150 for the insert. Absolute insanity. But no, I had never even thought to do that until he mentioned it. I would always just throw them away.
I don't throw anything away. I'm a hoarder. I have Ancient Mew inserts from Ancient Mews that I opened like 8 years ago. I'm bad. I'm a hoarder. I have all my empty pack wrappers. I have all not like nothing from XY to current, which in hindsight, I wish I saved my Phantom Forces pack wrappers. I wish I saved my Flashfire pack wrappers, but I saved every pack wrapper pre Black and pre XY because XY is what it was when I got in. But modern becomes vintage
too.
I should be saving my Destined Rivals pack wrappers. Like PK and Ponga should be saving.
And the booster boxes are these booster boxes ever going to be worth anything?
They're going to be vintage. So here, me being the eternal bear of the hobby, Destined Rivals empty booster boxes will be worth $50 a piece.
When?
I don't know. In our lifetimes. But like
when we're 90?
The amount that PK and Ponga open though, it's like if you've got the space.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I allow them to profit the bulk and the code cards and this. They're holding on to their bulk. They're holding on to their code cards. The real money, those empty pack wrappers, those empty booster boxes, and they're just tossing them aside. But honestly, like what's an empty Flashfire booster box right now? I didn't open 100 of them, but I probably opened 3 or 4 cases of them.
Mm-hmm.
Flashfire empty booster box.
It's got to be $20, $25.
I see low list of 40. I might snag that. That feels undervalued.
That feels undervalued.
I see one that sold for $48 shipped.
Jesus.
Yep. I mean, it's crazy. It is a crazy world we live in. Kiki says, do you think there's a tipping point on Fanatics Collect where the volume of items put up every week is too large for the number of eyes on the auctions, thus dragging down some items' performance? A microcosm of this is literally in a card like this. Like I sent 200 of these. I had consigners that sent a lot of these. We crashed these single-handedly from like $50 pristines to like they're probably going for like $15 or $20 now, which is still like a margin for something that costs nothing and $750 grading fee. But anyways, absolutely. But one thing is it's kind of like to an extent self-regulating because like if every week there's just like Moonbreons going for half price, if there's Charizards and Watsy, if all these things are just going for half price, more buyers will come in. Like people will see that, hear about it, come in and bid on it and make it go higher. You would run the risk of like, and I promise those things aren't happening to that extent anywhere near that from what I've seen. But if and when prices were really bad, people would talk about it. Buyers would like self-regulate that by coming in and like, hey, I want a piece of that action. I've gone on to other websites, and it used to be a play 4 years ago to go on Heritage and buy the miscellaneous lots. And then I made a video about it, making 10 grand, just buying and reselling stuff on eBay. And it wasn't my video that did it, but like I made a video, other people might have made a video, other people started buying it. Now you go on Heritage. Lately, when I see their lots go up, some of the single cards suffer. Some of the single cards I've bought to flip on Fanatics or eBay. But a lot of the lots go for like 50% more than they would on eBay. Mm-hmm. I think people think it's a play, so they bid on it, or it's just people that don't know about Pokemon, whatever it may be. But a lot of those like plays self-regulate. They work themselves out, if that makes sense.
Speaking of Heritage, no, in a couple days. I was gonna say the pre-release Raichu is ending soon.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that is what's it up to?
Ending September 19th.
So this Friday.
622,000.
622?
Yeah.
And that's plus 23% buyer's premium or whatever it is? Or is that with? I think that's plus.
I think
put in a bid. Put in a bid and tell us.
Yeah, okay.
I'm approved to some dumb number.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was way off. I swear to God it said that. But no, it's 145, 181,280 premium.
Nick accidentally read off his max bid.
But no, look, I'll no, I can't show you. Oh, that's for the whole auction block. That's what it is. Because I saw.
Oh,
show you.
Nah, we know, Nick. It's your max bid. Someone bid him up. Someone bid him up to his max.
Bid him up. See, I was looking at that. Current
Oh,
total
okay.
122,000
For the whole block. And this is on the print facility thing.
Oh, what I have one thing for the K.
Oh.
How do you say your name? KY? I don't know.
Kiki Jiki. Kiki Jiki.
Kiki Jiki. I do think there is like a tipping point there, but I also think there's so many live streamers that there's a pretty high floor on a lot of cards. As long as it's a good grade, 9 and above, not even popular Pokemon.
As evidenced by my Yo Chums play.
Pokemon, 9 and above. I think there's a pretty high floor because of live streamers.
Yeah. And UAP brought up a good point too, and I forgot to mention this, but like Pokemon owns Millennium Print Group now. They are still like they're a wholly owned subsidiary or whatever. Like they still print for other people, but like given that Pokemon has ownership in MPG, they own MPG now. I'd imagine they are like extra secure and good. I'm sure they're secure and good about all the other IPs they print, but they have like direct supervision over their own intellectual property control. So yeah. This is one that we can address. Is there separate graders for sport and TCG? You want to take that, Nick, from our grader conversation?
Should we talk about it at all? I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm so confused.
Maybe we shouldn't. Do you think cardboard graders have the same type of training classes like coin graders? I have no clue what training classes coin graders have. One of the aspects that I did ask the grader that we talked to is like, what are the training procedures? What are the metrics they look for? What are the pass fail criteria? Do people fail? One thing that I wondered, and like making an analogy outside of cards, is like driver's license. It's crazy to me that like everyone is allowed to drive a car. Pretty much you go take the test. I know people that took it like 5 times back in high school. Everyone eventually like gets it. And I was curious, like with these major grading card companies, like is everyone getting kind of just like pushed through, just forced through this mode? Like, hey, you pass, go grade these cards. It sounded like a pretty high failure rate. I don't have it like prepared for today. But they mentioned like a class of several people, which whittled down to like from their class, it was only like 1 or 2 of them that ultimately went into grading. So there's like pretty like everything's relative, but there's some amount of like pass fail criteria. Sounds like a lot of people don't make the cut. And then for people who do make the cut, one thing that I was always curious on is a lot of these grading card companies, I can't even remember at this point, but like I think a lot of them say that like more than one person is looking at your card. And there was kind of like some system for they put in the grade and then there are like potential quality assurance steps and how do some of these things get through. Again, this is all of them. Like BGS, CGC, PSA. We've seen all 3 companies put some slabs out into the wild that like, how is the card upside down? How is there something written on the card? How is the card the entirely wrong card at all 3 companies? So like I like this company that we talked with, they had different stages where like more senior people would review what potentially someone more junior had done. And yeah, again, like it was interesting. There were interesting like talks about mechanics of what happened, but again, I don't know how coin graders get trained. So there are classes of some kind. There are pass fail criteria of some kind. There are like internal standards to some extent. Like you could envision a sample of 100 graded cards maybe that they like pass around and they show like this is what this grade looks like. This is what this grade looks like. Look for that. Like there are hands-on training to some extent. And again, we're saying this broadly, vaguely. I'm sure this applies to all 3. I don't think this is outing who we spoke to.
And just complete speculation, because that would have actually been a good question. I would have been curious about that myself, but we didn't talk about it at all. I would imagine coin grading is a lot more intense of a training and class and process, just because there's so many little grades in between, and then also you're looking for so many different like details. Whereas cards, it's you have different categories of cards, but they're all graded under pretty much the same scale.
Yeah, coins are on the, what is it, the Sheldon scale, it's called, 70 points. And like with cards, they're not actually 2D. The textured ones are 3D and whatever. But like with coins, you need to know a little bit more, and you're dealing with a lot more wear. Like with I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but go to gem rate. Gem rate, it's like 40% of cards graded at PSA are 10s. 20% of cards graded at CGC are prestige, whatever the numbers are. Like a high percentage overall are just like the maximum grade. Whereas with coins, if you get into the modern stuff, if you get into the bullion, grading American Silver Eagles right from the mint, all that. But like if you're grading 100-year-old coins, I guess the same applies for 100-year-old cards. There's more nuance, there's more staining, there's more this, there's more that, there's more likely to be creases there. But 80+% of the, I guess, as I'm talking through this, I think all the same applies to coins, because like the vast majority of what they grade are first release Silver Eagles and proof coins cracked out. Like that's most of what grading is just ultra modern slop. That's
Slop.
Ultra modern slop, like your gray felt hat.
Hey, that's not slop.
Oh man.
You know what Walrus and I were talking about the other day, because it's so depressing almost. Those what's it called? Hiroshima Gyarados boxes. They're like they're getting to be like, I think Retro has them for $330 right now. Which is crazy because they just came out. But yeah, I believe more in the Gray Felt Hat Pikachu still at its current price point than I do those Gyarados boxes.
I'm definitely being really dumb.
They literally just came out. It's a $15 box that's selling for 300 plus, and I don't know. I don't think they look that good. Whereas I love that card.
This was free.
That's exactly what he said. The Gyarados boxes are infinitely more expensive at
they literally are. They should be worth whatever $2,500 times infinity is. That's what they should be worth. Again, facts, feelings, objective. That's just numbers. That's just logical numbers.
I don't know. I like the felt. I'd rather have more felt hats than that Gyarados box or any of them. I just don't like them. I
bought
think
0.
They look good, but I don't think they look that good.
I bought 0.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously hindsight it's easy. Weren't all 3 being pre-ordered for like 180-ish to 200 a piece? Yeah. And that was, you're gonna have to pay the tariffs afterwards for the ones that were only the first one was like pre-tariff. But you're saying the one box now is like 300?
Yeah, the Gyarados. I think the Pikachu is almost 300. That one we were able to get that one at like 140, 150, and that one's now like 300. But the Gyarados, I was not able to get any for below. I think I saw them at 280, and now they're up even further.
Literally just buy everything, anything.
Wild. There's so much just rampant speculation. It's
crazy.
Insane right now. And then like the whole TCG player thing with the Moonbryon getting up to $3,000 just raw near mint when PSA 10s were going for that. That's wild.
Walrus said, so a little peek behind the curtain into OSP Enterprises.
No.
Nick also has a no phone policy at his house since he started his open bathroom door policy. He doesn't need any issues with HR with recording. $500 Phantasmal Art release is possible, Nick. We have a $2,500 43K pop PSA 10 modern card. There's no way Burger Chew's already 10K PSA 10 pop.
I can't see it. I can't see it.
The only ones that would be back from PSA already are like I need to look this up now. There's no shot. The only ones that would be back are the higher, like you would have had to spend a lot of money to grade it. I have my first ones up in CGC 10 Pristine and Gem Mint at CGC Fanatics right now. So I see 380. Let me look this up on Alt quick so that I can see. There's, why is Alt not loading? Oh, the person blurred out the cert number. I need a cert number so I can search it easier. Here we go. Here's one. My Alt's not working right now.
That's weird.
PSA pop report.
Squeak just said 12.6K in PSA 10s. That's wild.
When did it come out? I was a little bit late to it. But...
It was, what event was it? We were away.
Charlotte?
Charlotte CollectCon, yes. Yep.
Holy crap. So it's holy crap. It's 13,584 graded.
That's wild.
What did they? I sent some to PSA under bulk through Fanatics too. So like I don't know when I'm getting those back, but it's probably still months. But like I bought 400 at 20 a piece, I want to say. I only graded like 100 so far. So I still have like, well, I sent some to PK and Ponga too, so they would have sold some already, probably at $20. That 13,000 graded at like they must have spent more than $25 a card to grade them, right?
We also they did a $50 grading special.
So people were grading. See, I still have a hard time, especially with my setup with CGC Fanatics. Mm-hmm. I have a hard time spending $50 grading on a $20 card. I've done it in my day. Back in 2021, I was spending $75 to grade Eevee, Pikachu, Charmander, like base unlimited, Jungle First Edition, stupid cards like that. But I'm not doing it as much today. That's so nuts. It is. Because people are selling at 75 because they were selling at 200 free 50+ cash printer after fees. Yeah, I guess I'm the crazy one for not having done it. Now that all that's said, like I'm gonna crack a bunch of packs, and tomorrow I'm gonna have a bunch out to PSA, I guess. Because the number's still there.
You know,
it's
absolutely insane. And I guarantee it's all because of that $21,000 Black Label sale.
People are going to get wrecked someday, but not today.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
I literally blind sent 550 ARs from Yub Chums, probably not in penny sleeves, and I barely lost money. It's like I was trying to be punished, and it is all scary. It is scary what's going on, but that is $10,000 times 75. I mean, almost $1 million in grading fees on the big Makachu that PSA is making for just it's so
so dumb.
Like, I've been full-time for 4 years. I've been here for 11 years. I know what this hobby is, but sometimes when I like hyper fixate and hone in on one little tiny aspect of it, it still blows my mind today. Like if I think too hard, it's still, yeah. Well, Wall Street Journal said this shit's better than gold, crypto, and Nvidia. Who are you to question the Wall Street Journal? Get your moon boots, guys. We're going to the moon.
We're already past the moon. We're going to Mars.
I mean, I could see the Big Makachu easily being $1,000 card, though. I
Oh,
mean,
stop it.
this guy's not even eating. I mean, how many cards? There's a lot of like Pikachu with clothes, tons of them, and a lot of them are better. The Poncho cards are better. How many cards is Pikachu eating food? How many cards is he eating food as American as a McDonald's burger? I mean, come on, that card is iconic. Iconic.
No.
That card will stand the test of time.
No. Gray Felt Hat is the greatest card of all time.
UAP is going right for Uranus, Nick.
Oh
Better
boy.
watch out.
Oh boy, better take
the Big Makachu is cute. I mean, this card is, I'll give it, it's iconic as well. But the Big Makachu is cute and iconic. So
it's a half art. It's gross.
that is true. I'm being these are wild swings of emotion here. I don't know what to think now.
No, I honestly think Gray Felt Hat Pikachu is my second favorite card. It's close to the Shining Gyarados for me.
You take that back.
No, I absolutely love that card.
Chat, what are we talking about here? Come on.
Two greatest cards in the hobby right there.
Help me out. The Shining Gyarados is so far and above better. Come on now. We're getting silly now.
What would be your second favorite? Do you have a second favorite?
I'm so bad with favorites. I don't know. Probably something boring like Base Unlimited Charizard. Because that card is iconic.
Yawn. Turn into Ernie.
People being lazy is funny coming from the waking up at noon guy. I didn't take this one; it was timely. But you said people were lazy. That's why they. What was that with reference to? I forget now. It was 20 minutes ago.
People not going full time themselves.
Oh, that's right. No, it was 30 minutes ago. Pikachu just got an email from PSA saying my eBay add-on grading was randomly refunded and now I have to create a new submission and send the number. What is going on? I've never done. Have you ever done that where you bought a raw card, you added grading, and then had it go like from the authenticator right to grading to your vault? Or no?
No, I've never done that.
I've never done it either. Johto Jake is watching it 3 times to catch up. So I have YouTube Premium, and for a while now, like when I'm mowing the lawn, I have it on my phone. You could go to like 4x on the phone for a long time, but computer was limited to 2. Recently, they brought to YouTube Premium on desktop. They brought the ability to go. Let me see what it's at. I can go all the way to 4x on. It's crazy. It is way too fast. I'm a 2xer, but I can't get above there.
I don't know how you guys do that. I listen to everything on just 1x. I get so easily distracted. I can't do more than that.
I didn't even think of that either. But yeah, I recently consigned a Black Label Ancient Mew that sold for about $20,000, and I think it was 20,600 or 20,800, whatever it was. That's old. I didn't even in my brain I didn't make that comparison that the Big Makachu went for more than the Ancient Mew Black Label, which so many more graded solo pop V8 blah 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 all the stuff, but like Pikachu with burger, don't overthink it.
But at the same time is because like for us, I think the Ancient Mew is like the most nostalgic card of all time. That's like my one like super vivid memory of Pokemon is going to see the movie and getting that Ancient Mew and wondering what the actual like attack and HP is, and we would write just like absurd numbers on a little insert. So I think that's the most nostalgic card of all time. But like anyone who's not part of our generation, do they have that connection to the card? Because like as a card, it's a weird card. It doesn't look anything like any other Pokemon card. So like, do other people actually like Ancient Mew? Whereas like Burger Chew, it's a super cute card. It's McDonald's and Pikachu. It's Pikachu. I don't know. Is 21,000 for the black label undervalued?
Question mark. I won't answer that
You
question.
got
Just leave it at the question mark.
20,000 for your black label ancient Mew. That's just a bunch of gibberish. I don't know.
And Quilly pointing out, like, PSA legitimately has an instructional video on their YouTube. Like, please don't put these stupid pull tabs. Like they've asked people to stop. It's wild that Peak, please ditch the card saver, ditch the and then take that time to source more cards, send more cards. No card saver. Use the time and the money to source and send more cards. Please stop.
I will be right back.
Okay. Krabby's Card says, have either of you had problems with the eBay authentication for cards over 250? It's a nightmare. I've had multiple cards returned, not because they weren't authentic, but my pictures hid something. So I actually have, it sucks because it's 3 cards. So I have 3 MetaZoo cards. Yes, MetaZoo cards exist that are above $250. But I have 3 of the hidden rare, I believe it's the Loch Ness Monster from Torrential Tides. They bought 3 for $500 each. $1,500 order that is coming back to me for some authenticity issue. It's like if 2 of them were good, send the 2 along. Let me keep the $1,000. Let me refund the 500, whatever. But yeah, I haven't gotten them back yet. I don't know what I'm gonna find when they come back. But these were pack pulled. Skya is like a savvy, good at his job guy. Like if they were damaged in some way, he wouldn't have listed them and sold them as near mint. But yeah, so I've had some issues, but not a whole lot. And to be fair, like we are doing stock photo. I guess that's probably what we're running into. Maybe it's centering or something was off. I don't know. But we sold 3 under 1 photo, and I guess maybe that's inherently the issue. We sold 3 under 1 photo when it was above 250. Maybe we need to list 1 by 1 with actual photos, I guess. I don't sell directly on eBay anymore myself, but one thing I used to do if it was sub 250, I'd do 1 photo and I'd sell tons of cards through them. But like once it went over 250, I'd do 1 cert to 1 cert. So yeah. Question: now that some Chinese cards have outgrown their Japanese counterparts, how do you feel about the Chinese sets? I think them having the exclusive things in them, that was required. That is what made it what it is. I'm still not like the biggest fan of them. They were kind of a novelty when I first put them on the live streams. PK and Ponga opened a bunch of them, but they've slowed down a lot. The novelty wore off, I think. I think generally, at least on my streams, little corner of the market, the English is king. Japanese and Chinese are like a novelty when they first come out. Yeah, I forgot to follow up with you on that. You cannot grade individual card sleeves with CGC. It needs to be. I thought I did let you know that, Brad. I messaged about that while we were at Charlotte. It needs to be like card size. Card sleeves are bigger than the cards, so it doesn't work.
There was a time, when was it? Not last year, but the year before that. I had taken like 2 weeks off to at the end of the year for like Christmas, New Year's, and then the first week to kind of do all my tax stuff. And because like I'm constantly just doing stuff that my eBay store side of things has become non-existent. But during that 2-week off period, I was crazy and bored, and actually thinking about. I think there's a business there to just buy packs of card sleeves and sell individual card sleeves. It's not going to be a ton of money, but your profit margins are insane. Your profit.
I would rather make.
There's sellers that do that. They have thousands of different card sleeves listed, and
do you want to make 1,000%? Do you want to make 1,000% on $1,000, or do you want to make 10% on millions of dollars?
But think of how easy it would be. You just throw it into a PWE, mail it off. It's a cheat code. Anyone who has
2020.
time, look into if you're willing
Nick,
to put in a ton of work, look into that.
Nick, stop. Nick, stop. It's 2025. PSA Vault, Fanatics Vault. It is easy to make 10% of 6 figures or 7 figures. Please don't stray these people into making 1,000% of 2 figures, 3 figures.
If you have the time, that is a genius business model.
This is financial advice. Do not do what Nick is saying. Julia actually says she sells individual card sleeves while she vends.
See? Julia's onto something. Julia's onto something.
If you're vending and you're there already, and okay, dollar binders make sense because you put in 50-cent cards and blah, but like, please, like, what are we doing? It's 2025. We need to do individual card sleeves. Nick messaging me on Christmas Day. And just quick, while you were gone, have you ever had issues with eBay authentication for raw cards?
Yes. It was, I specifically remember it too. It was a Burning Shadows Charizard, like the hyper rare. That I honestly thought it was near mint. But then PSA, the authentication, or I guess that was CGC. So I guess I haven't had an issue with the PSA, or no, he didn't say PSA. But yeah, CGC said it was light play and returned it back to me because it had that, like, you know, like they have those like raised cuts almost, like the edges, they're like raised almost. But it was that. So they sent it back to me, refunded the buyer.
Yeah. I don't know if you didn't have audio, or could you hear me when you left, or no?
No, I ran to the bathroom.
I sold 3 hidden rare. I think it was hidden rare Loch Ness monsters from Torrential Tides for $500 each.
Oh,
and they're returning a $1,500 MetaZoo order. It's like, let me have this, please. Let me have this. But we've sold quite a few. Like, I sold the Kelsey Mothman from base set. That went for like $1,400 recently. I just got the email that passed authentication. Singles, like, the boxes are not doing great. I don't know why people are doing it. Well, I know why people are doing it, because sell-through is not Pokemon. But like, Pokemon sellers are selling their Destin like hotcakes at 300, 400, whatever it is. Some of them bought MetaZoo, and it's like poking it with a stick, like, do something. I have it priced at 90. I have it priced at 90, and I haven't sold 79 boxes in 3 hours. What are we doing? So then they go to 80 and they go to 70. They're at like $60. I actually, shout out to _retrospects on Instagram, I saw he was listed at like 60. My wholesale price was like 63. I texted him. I'm like, Retro, count your boxes right now. I am buying these from you. I don't know why. So I'm just gonna literally have him. He's sending them to Skya. Skya's gonna he ripped 10,000 packs. I haven't made that video yet, but MetaZoo, the sell-through is slower than Pokemon. It's not Pokemon, mind you, but like, it is ridiculously plus EV at the prices a lot of these singles are selling for. And like, the way people are just dumping the boxes, it's like, it's just weird. I don't know. So I'm scooping up, like, hey, if you've got Torrential Tides boxes for sub distro, hit me up. I'll probably buy another 500 to 1,000 boxes.
People are lazy. They don't want to sell the singles.
Yeah, I guess. Which, I'm lazy because I'm just paying someone else to do it. I'm paying Sky to rip the packs and sell the single. But like, I have room to do that, pay him well for his time, and then still make money on top of it. So, yeah, I don't know. Oh man, imagine this. Pokeflipz says McDonald's gonna change their golden arch to Pikachu's ears for the 30th confirmed.
Ooh, that'd be wild.
That would be bullish. That'd be
crazy.
And Kiki, 100%. So it's actually interesting. Like, people send to me raw cards. They get graded and sold on Fanatics for $7.50 a card. And then some of the same people not bidding on their own cards, because you can't bid on your own cards. But consignor A will send a bunch of these ARs, and consignor B will send a bunch of these ARs. And like, if you send me a bunch of Team Rocket Japanese set. Like you can't bid on your own cards, but bid on the Paradise Dragona ones. Bid on all the other ones that you didn't send. And I know people who literally they send me raw, they sell through me, CGC Fanatics, and then some of those same cards that I'm paying out on are being bought by other people that consign with me, and they're sending it to Galaxy for the PSA Vault consignment, and they're reselling the same card they graded through CGC Fanatics on eBay, promoted rate through the PSA Vault, whatever it may be. Like, it is crazy the amount of hands these things touch sometimes to get to their end buyer.
I actively bought these types of cards.
You have eBay Live.
This was not the best buy, and it was a long time ago. But yes, I would actively buy just anything in plastic. Now I'm a little bit more picky, but yes, the live streamers they want graded cards. And it doesn't have to be good Pokemon. Preferably 9 and above, but yes, there are definitely streamers that are going on Fanatics and just bidding whatever, $10-12 on every single 9.
And I'll tell you, you guys need to do better, because I had some CGC 9s not get bids.
I gotta start going on Fanatics. I did that, but Please. It's so depressing because I bid on, I think I probably bid on like 200 cards, and then by the end of it, you win 50 of them.
That's a pretty good rate, 25%.
Yeah, but it's yeah, I gotta get back on that.
My historical rates for bidding, eBay, Heritage, PWCC, Fanatics, like my historical win rate on bids is like 5% probably. I bid very low, and it's just like a scatter shot, and I get it like 25%. That sounds crazy. I'd be thrilled with that. But Mason said you definitely retain far less at faster speeds, but it's more about growing the red bars than it is retaining info. I definitely relate to that for sure. But yeah, it's crazy. Like the life of a certain card, just to follow a card along. It gets bought from some Japanese website. It gets consigned through me. It sells on Fanatics in a pristine for like $20. And I won't use names, but like I can guarantee you that there's a card that like one of our buddies consigned with me, and then another one of them bought it, and then they sent it to Galaxy to be sold on eBay for $50. And it's like, I made some money. The original guy made some money. The second guy made some money. Let's not talk about the end consumer. Might be darker for them.
They're going to make the most money if they hold it for a week.
Not a lot of this stuff. Not a lot of this stuff. Or it goes to a Fanatics or a whatnot seller. There are channels on. We've had Sam on before. I don't think he'd push back on me saying that like he sells a lot of very, very low cost things, a lot of the same things that are consigned through my Fanatics. I'm Fanatics, cards that sell for $12, $15, $20 and make the consigner money. He's selling for $25 or $30 on whatnot. And he's just doing that like many, many times a day, every day. It's crazy. So there's room for people to make money and then buy from there and make money too. It's live streaming is crazy what it's doing to this market. Me convincing Nick $250 for Hiroshima boxes is cheap while he spews that felt hat at $2,500 makes sense was the darkest part of my day. That's hilarious. Burger Chew sold out in a day. Pokemon had to release a statement. It's iconic. Grow up, Nick. I agree. Team Walrus. Great felt hat, though. There were some statements. There were some news articles. There was definitely some drama around that, too. Oh, yes. So everything that I'm saying with respect to no card savers, I should have been more clear. That is for my CGC Fanatics thing. That is like, please send card savers when you send to PSA. But CGC, I believe that's a public thing. Don't they have a public thing where you don't even have to enter the cards? That's another thing about the CGC Fanatics.
CGC does, yeah.
Yeah. So CGC, you can directly send without card savers. You can directly send a 1,000 count box of just penny sleeved cards, and you can grade them like that. I've done it with CGC directly. I've done it with Fanatics CGC, but PSA is different. So yes, PSA wants card savers, but not the stupid tabs that Peek That Chew uses. Shame on Peek That Chew for doing that. DNT Card says the greater fool theory is lurking. Tom B is an investor, a buy and hold Japanese card sleeve investor. Big hodl.
I don't know. I don't know about investing. I'm not convinced on investing.
This is why Nick will always be the GOAT. There's always a way to make money in Pokemon. This is the guy that still has 10,000 pins from that Rusty deal, and he still thinks he got the better side of the deal.
I did. So I got to I sold a duplicate thing that I had, and I got to open it, which was a cool experience. I got the better side of that deal.
Yes, Kelly Sweeper says, I can sign with Probstein for the first time this week. New cheat code for bundling booster boxes together for 95%. It is crazy. It is insane. CGC8 Silcoon is the darkest thing I've ever seen. Brad, just you wait. Wait until you tune into my video on my blind send Yubchums play. It was you have not seen dark until you've seen this. Zorner says, want to buy all graded Wug Trios, Wiglets, and Ortho Worms. DMs are open. Ooh. We got a Wiglet buyout going on.
A Wiglet buyout.
The biggest winners are the extractors. Always, if you just put it back in, always without taking anything out, you inevitably become a bag holder. Squeaks, that sounds a lot like some bucket talk. Let me show you where I put my money that I take out. So I'm well aware. I know what's up.
Go away.
I know what's up. Squeaks knows what's up. There will be people. There will be people that turn thousands into millions probably, but like a lot of times it's always more. It's never enough, and eventually it will catch up with them. Eventually someone will just go all in, and then eventually the chips just the fact that you have your buckets hotkeyed is so dark. they come up quite a bit, but yeah, they're a source built right into my OBS that I can just flick on at any time. I also have smart goals at the ready. I also have my Fanatics fees. I've got my hot buy list. That's my old hot buy list, but you've got to have those things out at the ready. I think we're almost caught up in chat. It is almost 4. My kids have swim lessons at 5 p.m. So I do need to leave by like 4:15 at the latest. But if anyone has any...
Isn't that a summer thing?
It could be, but like the Y has an indoor pool. So we're just doing swim lessons. Summer was busy. The thing is, it's every Wednesday. And like the amount we traveled over the summer, we would have had to miss so many. I think it's actually a better winter thing because it's like, it's cold and crappy. Like, let's go in and swim in a heated indoor pool.
Really? We always did them outside.
But yeah, when I
had swim lessons inside.
I never had swim lessons growing up. We had a creek that ran out behind my, which you couldn't swim in that. But I had friends that had like ponds, and I went to the lake every year. We went camping, and we had a pool. But I never like got taught how to swim. I think by like 4 or 5, I was just swimming because I was just always around water. My kids are 5 and 7. And they're not yet swimming. So I told my wife, like, we need to make this happen. We are failing them as parents if they aren't like starting next year just fully confidently swimming. So yeah, that is something that they're on this 7-week program at the Y. And then if they're good to go, they're good to go. If not, we're just gonna run them in 7-week swim classes until they can swim, until I can chuck them in the pool. So looking forward to that. Yeah, what I was saying though is we need to leave in about 20-25 minutes. If anyone has any final questions, feel free to hit us with them. We will answer them before we leave. We appreciate everyone being here. We apologize that we couldn't post the whole uncensored podcast, but like I will go through the transcript that I have. I will go through and I will pull out like more interesting tidbits. And I'll find it. Maybe I'll do. We haven't done it in a long time, but maybe I'll do like shorts. Maybe I'll do something, and maybe I'll edit their voice, and do just shorts on this channel for the first time in a long time with some of the single questions. But yeah, we just couldn't post the whole thing. But you do not need a CGC membership. This is entirely external. I actually had one person. I had one person send their CGC Fanatics cards with the submission number that I gave them to CGC. And it's like, it needs to go to my vault at Fanatics. So Fanatics has a full-time, maybe multiple full-time CGC graders on site. So if anyone's interested in consigning with me, CGC Fanatics, DM me, email me. I don't publicly have the instructions posted because I don't want people to screw it up. I don't want just anybody to get in. But yeah, that's there. So if anyone wants it, DM me for the details. Don't blind send. Don't write for Dan and send it to Florida because it won't work. Someone tried it. It didn't work. But top signal is Squeaks checking into Pokeflipz. Add it to the pile. I'm going to take some credit here. Ever since May of 2024, when I got my dad, when I pawned off all those SV cases for $100 a box, I think I started the boom. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was me. I'm pretty sure that was the first top signal of all top signals that have led us to this point. So you're welcome. You're welcome, Pokemon Market.
Yes, it was all you. It was all you.
If your business were to close tomorrow, how many other businesses / people do you believe would be significantly affected by your absence in the hobby, i.e. loss of earnings, sales, product, etc.?
I think there would be a good bit, actually. You'd have Squeak, or not Squeaks. You'd have Walrus and Thrifty. Those are obviously the biggest direct people. But then you'd also have a lot of well, maybe not a lot, but a decent bit of people who send consignments for the live streams. And then you have people who are buying packs that wouldn't have a way to sell the packs.
I have one thing I have to preempt before Walrus says it in chat. How many people would be positively affected, Nick, by you leaving the hobby? Because you can't count those people out. How many people would have money, extra money in their bank account, not just dumping it into your eBay live streams? I bet Walrus is typing that as I said it.
No one's positively affected. The country would just go into a depression, not being able to listen to me every night on eBay Live.
Oh no, what did I say? What did I do? Dan is literally built for a pyramid scheme company.
I forget.
What did I say?
I don't even know what you were talking about there.
Is that with respect to me talking about like the whole CGC Fanatics and then it's being sold to people that are making money on eBay?
That's probably what it is.
That's probably what it is. But on this one, so yeah, I mean, PK, Ponga, Spat, Skya, they would all lose an income source. At this point, I probably have, I've had over 100 unique consigners for like the Fanatics proper consignment. Not all of them are regularly sending still today, but CGC Fanatics, I probably have 40 people as of this point. That's a newer one. I probably have a few dozen, and the retention on that one is really high. The retention is pretty solid on the regular consignment one, but there are some people that are just one and done, and then it didn't work out the way they thought it would, and it is what it is. And I'm sure that'll be the same way with CGC Fanatics. I had one guy who sent me some Dragon Ball Z and some dark stuff like that, and that was a one and done, and probably not coming back. But but yeah, overall, there would be quite a few people. I've got the Java pack consignment thing that he talks about on his channel going on. There'd be quite a few people that would be negatively impacted. But honestly, like just being completely there might be some people that would be benefited. There might be some people that would be like not having the live stream, not having the thing to buy from, and there might be some people that would be better in their life. Like, hey, my streamers, my guys went away. I'm gonna delete the app. And being a realist, knowing the statistics and the laws of large numbers and all that, I think that I am strongly, very generally, a positive impact on the hobby overall. But I'm not gonna live in denial that some people would probably realistically benefit. So, but drastically, I think it would go the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Zara Lurking says, anyone else feel like USPS is being run by children? They are getting worse and worse with delivering packages to the right address or losing packages. It's dark out there. I've used USPS for 20 plus years, tens of thousands, 100,000 plus packages. I think they get too much hate personally. I can count on one hand the amount of issues that I've had in over 100,000 packages. It's so rare. Sometimes things and that's like true issues that weren't resolved. Now things coming back that I resend and they get delivered. Those things do happen a little bit here and there, but overall, like, no, I think it's a really smooth operation. I've never once in my life had a bill that didn't find its way to my mailbox. So they're batting 1,000 there. If USPS was half as bad as many people say they are, one bill would have not made it to me at some point in my life. But I promise you, I've never had a bill not make it. What do you think?
They're good about getting your bills to you. No, I agree. And yeah, it's the same as like eBay. Like, you hear all the eBay horror stories. The amount of times that actually happens is so few and far between. But you remember those instances, so they stand out more. But yeah, no, I agree with you on that. And then now that they have the free $100 insurance with ground advantage, it's so nice. Because obviously you might sell something for over $100 and you'll lose money, but you're getting a free $100 back if something does happen and it goes missing, or something like that, never gets delivered, gets damaged. Yeah, I think they do a fantastic job.
So I've got a bunch starred. Some we've already done. I'm working through them. Garen says, indoor swimming lessons sounds like a rich person thing. Top signal. Honestly, take off the indoor. Growing up, I don't know anyone. None of my friends growing up ever had swimming lessons, as far as I understand. If you had talked about swimming lessons 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I would have been like, swimming lessons, that's a rich person thing. Indoor, outdoor, wherever you are. So I understand the whole swimming lessons, rich person thing. But indoor, outdoor, it's the Y. We're going to the local Y, and it's like $100 for like 7 weeks. I don't think that's a rich person. Well,
it's a lot
lessons,
of money for people. I don't know, $100.
Lessons inherently are the rich person part. But indoor, outdoor, I don't think that makes a difference personally.
No,
that's just
why I did swimming lessons back in the day, but it was always outdoor in the summer. I did. Same with my sister. She did swimming lessons, but outdoor during the summer.
And those exist. Like, we could have done those, but they just didn't fit our schedule. We would have missed half. We're actually going to miss one because, as I said earlier, swimming lessons today at 5, and 2 weeks from now we have card party. That's a swimming lesson day, so my kids are just going to miss their swimming lesson that day. So that's like $30 I'm paying for that day that they're not going to. So I'm never going to financially recover from this. I'm going to have to
financially recover.
Like, think how crazy I'm spending. So it's $100 each, and it's 7 weeks. So it's $200 for 7 weeks. Say it's $30 a day for both kids. I'm spending more than 2 swimming lessons to grade 1 piece of cardboard that then just multiplies into paying with the net profit for all the swimming lessons. Like, what is this world? What is this world? Like, for anyone in the Pokemon hobby that exists where this play exists, what I think I still have the pop report pulled up. I don't have the pop report pulled up still, but I think it was like a 90-something% 10 rate for that big Makachu card. Like, we're all rich, aren't we? Aren't we all rich? How are we not all rich? If Big Makachu is $300, I lose my mind when I think too deeply on some of this stuff. Talking about Nick leaving the hobby, Squeaks would be impacted. He needs Old School to keep that bank account fat to buy off him. Nick does pay way too much on certain things. The Pokemon hobby would collapse without Nick. He is the backbone. Agreed. Dan already has his hands in enough of the different ways to sell it and consign things. It isn't a pyramid scheme. It's a literal circle. It is a circle.
That is true. It's not wrong there.
Squeak says Kai has entered the chat.
That was with your Dragon Ball consignment.
Peak That True says, I sent Dan some Mio Star Wars cards and they surprisingly sold. I don't even know what that is, but I guess I sold some of those on behalf of him.
No.
Dan, do you think Do you think or have you heard if Fanatics will ever lower the time they allow for people to pay for items and or improve the unpaid process? I don't think so. They have like a 97% paid rate. The pay rate is really solid. It's a lot better than eBay's from what I've seen overall. Talking to James, talking to Rusty, talking to Nick, like it's not 100%. It never can be or will be, but it's better. And I think both processes kind of suck. It just sucks when people don't pay for something they bid on. But I prefer Fanatics over eBay. So like I hope they don't, and I think they won't. And so yeah, that's my thought on that. But it is frustrating. Like there's times where, like I just scheduled weekly auction 193 kicks off this Thursday, and so it runs 10 days. So weekly auction 193 starts on September 18th, and the auctions end on the 28th. And then I'll do the first payouts October 1st. So like very few people pay within the first day or two. Maybe it's 20-30% people pay in the first day or two, and you get paid out on October 1st. Well, then October 8th, it's been 10 days since the auctions have ended. Now you're probably getting 70, 80, 85% of your items paid by then. By the third week, it's up to that 97%. But then October 15th, you're getting your final payout for those items that were paid. And items that were first listed in weekly auction 193 are now getting relisted in weekly auction 197. Just because of the day where it's
long.
Well, it's because it's a 10-day thing. Like one, you lose a week and a half. So weekly auction, like you can never list in weekly auction 193, go unpaid, and list in weekly auction 194. Because when 193 ends, 4 is already 3 days underway. So the way that they do a 10-day rolling, you can never list in the next one. Some people have asked me like, hey, if it doesn't get paid, can you list in the next one? I functionally cannot do that because that's not even a thing with eBay. Like if you can sign with James, he'll sell week 1. It ends the Sunday. If it goes unpaid, it's going unpaid on eBay around day 4. So like Thursday, he probably gets it back up that next Sunday. But with Fanatics, it's like it's a 10-day thing. So that basically makes it 2 weeks at minimum. But Fanatics gives them, depending on the buyer, some items cancel unpaid after 2 weeks. Some take 3. And then ultimately, it's like a 4-week thing. But it's only 3% of items. If it's a big one, it sucks. And now that I've consigned over 50,000 items, there have been some items that get unpaid twice.
Jeez.
Not many, but let me do the math. So 50,000 times 0.03 is how many I would have expected. 1,500 items I would have expected to go unpaid. Now times it by 0.03 again, 45 items out of my 50,000, 1 out of 1,000 people roughly will expect to go unpaid twice. And you're sending a card in, and 2 months later you're getting paid for it. Now, let me multiply it by 0.03 again. 1.35 people on expectation should have expected to have their card go unpaid 3 times. And I can't
hate to be that person.
I can't like
it would feel so bad.
Yeah, it's not good. It doesn't. I think I actively have somebody who's on their 3rd go around, so they've canceled twice. It was a Korokora Mew. It's like a Korokora Mew, like and when it's that specific, some singular moron is probably pumping that card. It's so frustrating. It's so annoying. But some singular person is probably pumping that card, and it's like, just let the damn thing sell. I went through it through Probestein. So I might make a video still about this. I guess this is my little teaser at what probably will never be a video. I sent like 10 tag cards to Probestein. I had some that took 3 months. I had a Dark Blastoise that I want to say sold like 4 times. And it wasn't me. I wasn't, but someone was shilling it. Someone was shilling it and not paying. Affiliated with or not affiliated with the company, I have no idea. But like some moron wouldn't let me ditch my stupid tag slabs. I just wanted them gone. I just wanted money. Give me my money. I don't want this card. 99-cent auction. Let it fly. And it just is what it is. What it is. I can't do anything about it. It's Probestein can't do anything about it. Top signal Dan selling shit you can't even pronounce.
Look up and see if Tag posted any videos about a Dark Blastoise sale on eBay.
It was that, and it was like multiple other ones. I can't even remember what all of them were, but let me see if I can find it. I think it was an 8.5. There shouldn't be that many listed. I was gonna say. But yeah, Probstein. So Probstein, it sold on July 8th for $410. Then it sold on July 31st. So right there, that's 23 days.
Yeah.
Whatever Probstein's processes are, I lost 23 days. I think with James, you'd lose at least 14, and maybe in some instances you lose 21. With James, you're going to lose multiples of 7, just like with Fanatics, because he only ends on Sundays. But Fanatics and Fanatics is worse because of the 10-day. In some ways, it's better. It's more time for the buyers to see the cards and get the eyes on it, whatever. But it's worse when something goes unpaid, because now you're one additional week just inherently. But yeah, then it finally sold on September 1st for $428. I think that's the one I got paid on. It must have been. But I couldn't get rid of that card. There was a couple other ones too that I can't remember which ones they were. But anyways, and it's like, you think they have too much time to pay for an item they won. The service is what it is, and it's like, use it or don't use it. I would rather more people pay. I would rather 100% of people pay in a day. Like, when I win an item, I pay. I just pay. Yeah. I wish everyone would do that. But like, it is what it is. Am I going to not use the service over it? No. Do I wish it would be better? Yes. But do I understand why it is the way it is? Yes. I have bigger fish to fry with Fanatics. If I could snap my fingers and change one thing, it would not be that one thing. I promise. But yeah, it's usually something pretty dark. You had food growing up, rich person. But yeah, Peak, I don't think that's changing anytime soon. My job would be so much easier. My job is not too painstaking as it is with the whole consignment thing, but like, the biggest headache comes from those 3% that are unpaid. Every week I have 1,000 items going, and that's 30 items every week. And the way that Fanatics accounts for or fails to account for unpaid items in post is just, it's miserable. It is miserable. Timmy says, do some influencers hate on PC ETBs because of difficulty obtaining a large position at a good price, or because they don't like the underlying product? Yes.
Yeah.
There exists one influencer minimum that doesn't like the product, so they hate on it. There exists some influencers that hate on it because they can't get a large position. I wouldn't say what I do is hate on it, but I don't like them. I don't engage with them because I can't get a large position. I don't care to have one or two random things kicking around. I want, actually, let me spill a play. Like when McDonald's Pikachus came out, I bought 400. When the Gengar decks, the Gengar decks. Shout out to Galaxy, shout out to Retro. Galaxy was $30 a Gengar deck. Retro was $31 a Gengar deck. I feel like the volume I did, I probably could have talked Retro down $1, but it's like, I don't care to. I don't mind people making money because I'm pretty sure I'm going to make money. I asked Galaxy for 100, and he's like, I have 30 something. Maybe I can get you more. And then he went and he got more, and I got 100 from Galaxy. I got 200 coming from Retro. He said he has like 60 something that he can definitely get, and he's going to go back and he's going to try to get more. But like, I can barely get 300 high class, ultra modern Gengar Japanese deck. It's like, things like that are just like, I want to click a button and just have a lot of them. That's only $9,000. I'm trying to spend $9,000 on this one Japanese deck, and it's like a hassle. It's like, I got to burden Galaxy and Retro with these back and forth messages. Oh, I gotta check this, I gotta check that. That's already too tedious. And ETBs are infinitely worse than that. Like, I'm talking $9,000 there for 300 decks. If I tried putting $9,000 into PC ETBs, I would quit the hobby. I would retire. I'm not going to do that. So, but in some people, like, oh, Dan's hating on him. Dan's just, he's jealous. No, I promise. It's just the logistics. It's just like, it doesn't work for me. But you're asking about all influencers, and I'm not everybody. I'm one person, so I tell you why I hate on them or don't like them or whatever. But the average consumer of PC ETBs should buy them. If you are at your 9 to 5 and you're not working, if you can play RuneScape on your phone, and you can pull up Pokemon Center on another tab, and you can click a couple buttons and wait in a queue with 5 million bots, and you can turn $65 into $300. You do that. Yes, do that. You're a professional. Whatever you're like, absolutely do that. It just doesn't work for me. I'm not going to open a tab. I'm not going to do all those things when it's like I'm not getting paid for doing it. So it's just not for me. A lot of people get so caught in binary. It needs to be good or bad. PCETB, good or bad. It can be good for some and not good for others. PCETBs are good for the people that buy them, but they're not good for me, and that's fine. And Timmy, I know who Timmy is. I think Timmy knows this. I'm not really teaching Timmy anything new, I don't think, but I hope that makes sense. It's right for the right people in the right circumstances, but I am not those people.
Yeah, I do like PCETBs. I'm not in a rush to sell the ones I have, even with the crazy pricing that they're at right now.
Anecdotally too, like I used to be a big collector. I amassed a collection the likes of which many will never amass. I had every PSA 9 Gold Star. I had every PSA 9 base first edition holo, every PSA 9 first edition holo, every PSA 9 level X, every PSA 9 old school EX, every PSA 9 legend card, every PSA 9 prime card, all of them. I had every sealed ETB from Plasma Storm to the end of Sun and Moon. How many people can say that? Not many people. Up to like Sword and Shield. I had all the ETBs. When PC ETBs came out, I'm not a variant guy. So when I used to be Collector Boy Dan, I didn't build master sets. I don't like reverse holos. I don't care if it's Legendary Collection reverse holos, Fireworks. I don't care if it's EX era reverse holos. Those are better than the other ones, but I never liked variants. I never liked reverse holos. I never put them in my binder. I did a complete set, not a master set. When PC ETBs came out, the first thing I thought was like, shit. I already have this unwieldy collection of every ETB from Plasma Storm to current. I have no way to display it, no way to, and now you're telling me I got to double down? Like when X and Y came out, which X and Y coming out actually predated me a little bit, but they had the blue one and the red one, the Xerneas and the Eviltal. Vettel, Eviltal. I feel like that's a word that I'm not confident in my pronunciation.
I don't know. I'm not. We need Pokeplumber in here.
I was just going to say, I'm going to text Pokeplumber, Eviltal. I'm texting Pokeplumber right now. Before I forget, let me text.
I like ETBs. I think they display really nicely. But yeah, they are so big. And
variants too.
Where do you put them?
And do you remember the ETB Plus, the Zacian Zamazenta ETB Pluses that came? Like I had the ETB Plus, and it didn't fit in my stack. It made the stack wonky because like I had a nice big stack, and they were all displayed like a little wall. And now it's like PC ETBs. All like I don't like variants. I don't like stamps. I don't like any of that stuff. Plain, just straight to the point. Why You'll Veltal? I feel like these phonetic spellings are not helping me. Veltal. I feel like I've heard it pronounced as Eviltal.
Yaveltal? I like your average players. No. Yeah.
Why Veltal?
Yaveltal. Why Veltal?
Yaveltal?
No, yeah, I like a combination of Mason and your average.
Why Veltal? I heard someone say Eviltal once. I liked that. I just like the sound of it. Eviltal. Yeah, I like the sound of it. I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna believe UAP. I'm not gonna believe Mason. I'm waiting for Pokeplumber. I just texted him. We will get Eviltal in our Pokemon pronunciation of the day sometime soon. I was going to clarify. I just texted him the name. I was going to clarify, like, please do this as your Pokemon pronunciation of the day. I'm not going to clarify that. I think he's going to know what I'm talking about. Just with the one word. But yeah, I for space reasons, I had to quit the ETB collection. I hated the variant thing. It's like, I like the idea of having all the ETBs. I hated too that they skipped Flashfire, that they skipped Plasma Freeze, that they so they started Plasma Storm, they skipped Plasma Freeze, they did Plasma Blast, they did XY Base, they skipped Flash Fire, and then they did Furious Fist, and then they did everyone from then on. But no, I stuff like that just annoys me. And PC ETBs came out, and they had the whole error with the Chilling Rain one. So like a completionist would get the error ones, and then the right ones, and then I don't do any of that. I sold them all, and now a Plasma Storm ETB. I sold mine for like $3 grand, 3,500, some crazy number. Now it's like $15,000 or something stupid. I don't even know. But yeah, my wife said it's either me or the PC ETB cases. And long story short, she's begging me to take her back. What do I do?
Zach, you made the right choice. You made the right choice.
There's a Brad Paisley song, "I'm Gonna Miss Her," that's really good. It's like a 90s 2000 country song. Basically, he comes home from a fishing trip. His wife makes him decide between, hey, it's me. It's me or the fishing. And then the whole, like the I guess I'm spoiling the song. Well, I'm gonna miss her. And then he goes on and talks about his fishing trip. And but yeah, with that, we are fully done. I can hear the family's home, so I better get going to the rich person indoor YMCA swim lessons.
Yes.
Anything else to say in closing, or what else have you got before we wrap up?
The only I was just gonna say you can't have good and country music in the same sentence, but aside from that, we're good. We're good.
Yeah. We will be live in 2 weeks. Maybe we'll do a guest for pre-card party. Maybe we won't. We have this transcript. We have the recording. We might do a couple little clips. We might do something with that, but you got most of what you're getting from the greater interview. So that is what it is. Other than that, yeah, hope everyone has a great rest of their week. Hope everyone has a great time. Really looking forward to seeing people in a couple weeks at Card Party, but we'll see you one more time between now and then.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us, everyone, even though we disappointed you without a greater interview. See you again in 2 weeks.
Yep. Have a good one, everyone. We will catch you all later.